Madam Clerk, if we can go ahead and call this meeting to order for the Reno City Council on February 25th, 2026. We'll go ahead and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I think I see the Downtown Reno Partnership Executive Director in the crowd. Neil Majardin can lead us in the pledge, please. Thank you so much for leading us. We'll go ahead and start and move on to the roll call, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Martinez. Calling roll for Wednesday, February 25th, 2026 for the Reno City Council. Councilmember Taylor, absent at this time. Councilmember Doerr.
Here.
Vice Mayor Martinez.
Here.
Councilmember Ebert.
Here.
Councilmember Reese.
Here.
Councilmember Anderson. Mayor Sheevy, absent at this time. Mr. Vice Mayor, you do have a quorum of the Reno City Council.
Thank you so much. We'll go ahead and start with public comment today and then move into some special public comments and proclamations after our general public comment for today. So if we can open up item A3, please, Madam Clerk.
Awesome. Opening item A3, Vice Mayor Martinez. Our first item today is public comment. It should be noted for those in attendance that comments are to be addressed to the mayor and council as a whole. Comments heard under this item will be limited to 3 minutes per person and may pertain to matters both on and off the council's agenda. Council may not take action upon any matter not agendized on today's agenda. When you're called on for public comment, please state your name for the record and begin speaking. The timer will begin when you've stated your name, and you will be afforded 3 minutes. For those participating in chambers in accordance with council rules 6.3.11, while in this room, please be respectful. Disruptive behavior from audience members like clapping, yelling, whistling, etc., which impede the meeting may result in a warning issued by the presiding officer. If this behavior continues, you may be removed from chambers. If you're an attendee in the Zoom meeting and would like to make public comment, please raise your hand at this time. And Mr. Vice Mayor, just for the record, Councilmember Taylor did join us at 10:02.
Thank you.
Our first public commenter today is Terry Brooks, followed by Christina Maticus.
Good morning, it's me, Terry Brooks again, and today I'd like to share with you my thoughts on the results of depression and what seniors go through. Last time I was here, I talked about the causes of depression, so today I'd like to talk about the results of depression. When someone grows older and goes through various stages of depression, it can then lead to going through stages of agitation. That can then lead to unusual delusions, which can then lead to unusual hallucinations. All of these problems can then lead to unusual suspicions, which can then lead to unusual kinds of confusions. All of these problems of such depression join into various stages of a long progression. When someone goes through such periods of depression, it can then lead to them finding themselves in isolation. And being in isolation can then worsen the problems, causing angry outbursts and many other problems. It can lead to perceptual problems of formulating what is seen or heard, like problems of understanding simple messages or directions seen or heard. And that can lead to even more problems of doing many things, like remembering other people's names or identifying places or things. You might be watching television on which people are having a conversation, and later on you think you remember being in on that conversation. Depression can lead to neglect of health and to stress and even suicide, or it can lead to the embarrassment of just having tried. Depression has become even more common in recent years, which has also led to many painful tears. I would like to thank you all for listening to me today, especially when I speak in such of a depressing way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Christina Mactudis, followed by Stephen White.
This. Let's go. Hello, my name is Christina Mactudis, and I live in Northwest Reno.
I first spoke in front of the City Council on November 12th, 2025, because an off-duty City of Reno firefighter in uniform had been in a head-on collision in my neighborhood, and it appeared that he was being given preferential treatment. That's where he went through the wall, and that's the car that he hit. It appeared that he was being given preferential treatment to avoid a DUI charge. After my public comment, Mayor Sheevy asked if a City of Reno employee could contact me regarding my concerns. I said, absolutely. I was contacted by Mavis Afo, Employee Relations Manager, on Thursday, December 4th, 2025. We spoke for approximately 15 minutes, and when we ended the call, Ms. Afo asked if I would be willing to speak with the fire chief at a later date to have my additional concerns addressed. I received a call on Wednesday, February 18th, 2026, from Ms. Afo asking if I would be available to speak with her and Fire Chief Cochran the following day. I did receive that call at 1:11 p.m. on Thursday, February 19th, and we spoke for approximately 24 minutes. Here is a summary of what we discussed, and I'm going to put this up for when I get to that. Is that? I asked, why was Price hired with 2 prior DUIs? Chief Cochran said Operator Price was hired before he became chief. It's possible he was hired and then promoted to operator. I have some disagreements with that, but Mavis Afo said many factors go into the hiring process. I asked, why wasn't Price placed on administrative leave after the accident? Ms. Afo said the City of Reno has not concluded their investigation, so he has not been placed on administrative leave or fired. Chief Cochran responded, he's not currently operating a fire truck. I asked, what more do they need to investigate, as he pled guilty to felony reckless driving causing substantial bodily harm on December 9th, 2025. Ms. Afo answered that he is not, quote, convicted, her words, and won't be considered convicted until sentencing. I questioned why doesn't pleading guilty count as convicted, and she stated again that his guilty plea doesn't count. I then asked if after sentencing will Operator Price lose his job. Chief Cochran said he could not speak to HR matters. Ms. Afo said that after being sentenced, the city will evaluate the next step, but being sentenced does not necessarily mean he will lose his job. I'm going to cut out some of what they said and wrap it up. The latest data available from Transparent Nevada shows that Mr. Price's regular pay in 2021 was $103,264.21. I bring up his pay to show that he is a government employee, which I believe makes him accountable and his actions accountable to you, the City Council. May I finish my closing remarks?
Yes, go ahead and wrap up.
I came and spoke to you in November because my confidence was shaken due to what I was hearing in the news. I appreciated that after my public comment, I did feel heard. But I am now back because if you look at the swift consequences for the state fire marshal, who was recently arrested on suspicion of DUI, versus the seemingly lack of consequences for the City of Reno employee, it again shakes my confidence that our City of Reno public servants are going to be held to the same standards as anyone who would have caused that accident. In my opinion, due to his position in the fire department, I believe he should actually be held to higher standards. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Mactus.
Stephen
Is scheduled for March 5th.
Stephen White, followed by David Shakar.
Good morning, folks. You probably all think I'm a young guy and all, but last Friday I turned 79 years old. I don't know how the hell that ever happened, but I made it this far. The day before, on Thursday, the mayor gave me one of the best birthday presents I think I've ever had when she committed $2,000. Thank you, Mayor. You gave me one of the best presents I've ever had for my birthday, which was Friday. She committed $2,000 for building more of our mushroom displays to place in the parks for artists to be able to display and sell their artwork in the parks this summer. You know, this is a wonderful opportunity for Reno to really be at the forefront of restoring the arts in America, you know. No other city has ever done this before. Now, Nathan and I, we worked out the protocol for all this. We're going to be printing up these flyers, and we're going to be handing them out. I'm going to go around to every high school in your city. I'm going to physically do that. I'm going to go to the veterans organizations. I'm going to go to the artist lofts over here. I'm going to go to the generator. I'm going to hand these things out wherever I can find artists. We got to do this. This is an incredible opportunity for your senior citizen. You know, that art group that was here last month, there were 36 members. They were all seniors. They'd all love to be able to sell their artwork. Maybe you didn't know, but all the artwork that was on the walls out here during last month, it was all for sale. If you went and looked through their little album over on the pedestal there, there was a page dedicated to each one of them with photographs of their work and price tags. But there are no venues for any of these artists to be able to sell their artwork or display it. Think about this, you know. This was all done in violation of constitutional law, and it's gone on for over 40 years. You realize that? And to have that state assembly bill get passed that requires art to be part of the recreational experience of the park, it's an amazing accomplishment. It's just incredible that we're doing that. It places you at the forefront of the arts in America. You want to turn Reno into an art capital of this country? By God, let's create art in the park and get people out there. Another thing I want you to remember, this is very specific to the fine arts. This doesn't include functional or useful craft items. This is purely fine art, painting, drawing, sculpture, photography, printed self-expression, music, theater, dance. I'd like to start seeing you consider putting up some gazebos in the parks where artists can come down and play music for people, you know? This is an incredible thing. One last thing, I'm asking each one of the council members, please, donate $1,000, I mean, commit $1,000 apiece to build more of these sculptures to put in the parks so that artists have venues to hang their artwork on. And we're going to move these different sculptures around to different parks to find out the best areas. And each one of you represents a certain ward, and each one of you could request these to be placed in your particular ward. Just ask Nathan, and we'll move them to that so we can try it. And everybody's ward and affect everybody. God bless you all, and thank you for your time.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank
I
you for your
appreciate it.
service. Thank you.
I don't know how, you know, one last thing. I have carpal tunnel in both hands. I'm going to the VA today to get a shot, and I have arthritis. This is what you get when you paint over 12,000 paintings in your lifetime. And I personally won't be actually participating in this. I just can't do it anymore. Last time I painted was 2 years ago. So I just thought I'd throw that at you. This is being done.
Well, you have a voice, so just
This
keep
is being
using
done
it.
for your artists, you know, for all of your kids and everybody.
Thank you,
God
Mr.
bless you,
White.
Mayor. Thank you. Thank you so much for that commitment.
David Shakar, followed by George Eddie Lorton.
Good morning, Madam Mayor, council members. My name is David Shakar. I'm an independent artist. Usually when I get up in front of any public venue to make a speech, it takes me like 1 or 2 hours at home to figure out a 3-minute speech, and I did not do that to this day. But I think what's important is I wanted to mention something basically about what Steve White said. And remember, Steve White is the winning plaintiff in the landmark civil rights of artists case, White versus City of Sparks, where you do not need a license or a permit to exhibit and sell your own self-created artwork in the public forum, like a sidewalk or a public park. Lately, I've been going over to Reno Public Market. They've been really great about allowing me to be inside and draw fast sketch portraits of the patrons there. So last Saturday, I was getting my art gear out of my car, and I ran into this homeless guy in the parking lot, called himself Wishbone. And y'all may have seen him. This guy is an artist, and he walks around with an armload of paintings. There are these long flower paintings. They're actually pretty good. He asks people for donations. And I got to thinking about that artistic pavilion that Steve White made. He calls it the mushroom of the butterfly effect. I go, what does that mean, mushroom of the butterfly effect? And the butterfly effect is that when a butterfly beats his wings, 1,000 miles ago in Patagonia or somewhere that has an effect on a tornado or something like that. But imagine the city of Reno, we are uniquely situated, more so than probably any other city, more so than any other art town, that we have the beautiful Truckee River running through it. And along the river walk is a sidewalk that goes for over a mile. Great places for artists to exhibit and sell their work. And I got to be thinking, if this art pavilion, this thing called the mushroom of the butterfly effect, that Steve invented and provided the funds to build, and he built it himself. If the city could make more of those, could you imagine how this city would be well situated to be an artist community that would be very enviable of any other art town, especially since we've got the beautiful Truckee River. We're right in the shadow of the Sierra, and people like that homeless gentleman that called himself Wishbone that was hawking his hand-painted flower paintings, he would have a better venue and have more dignity. His income would probably increase, and that would mean he'd have a better life. And there's a lot of art clubs here in Reno with seniors and youth and disabled people that could also benefit from that. So just consider that City of Reno is uniquely satisfied to be the most awesome art town in the city of Reno. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Steve.
George Eddie Lorton, followed by Paul Klein.
Perfect. And what?
For the record, my name's George Eddie Lorton, running for Reno mayor. But I once again want to ask for your help to do a 250th year anniversary of our country. So we're trying to do a 4th of July parade, so I'd like a solution to it. If not, do this parade. I could come up with a 25 grand for the permit. I want to have the most inclusive parade we've ever had. I want to have Republicans, Democrats, police, fire, the Elks, the Shriners, the Sikhs, the Hindus, the Paiutes, the Hispanics, veterans, the LGBTQ community. I want everybody to be there. So this would be a wonderful thing for our downtown core to bring families to our city, because we haven't had one in 2 years. It's about 25 grand. So if council members didn't want to end up trying to foot the bill for the 25, then I'll pay for it. So I'm just hoping we can get this on and do this parade, bring people downtown so they can see it's family friendly and public safety all across the board. It's our one chance to do it, the 250th anniversary for our country. So I hope to get a phone call this week or so with a solution, or try to put together this parade. We can't do it without the city. It's just short term to where we need to organize this thing. So let's see if I had anything else. Nope. And there's a lot of things on the agenda today, and I have to leave now, so I can't hang around, but I hope you can consider this. It'll be good for our town, good for our country. Let's include everybody. It'll be the best parade of all. So I thank you for your time today. I appreciate it.
And I
Thank
know
you.
you reached out to
All right,
connect with Jackie Bryant, and she is out of town, but when she gets back, she will connect with you.
Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye.
Paul Klein, followed by George Combs.
Mr. Klein, good morning.
Paul Klein for the record. I'm just here to give a quick update. I know you guys have a full agenda, and then when you get into the RDA stuff, I'm on the agenda, and so just sneaking in real quick to
Okay,
share some
perfect.
feedback from the Redevelopment Agency Advisory Board. It's good to see you, Councilman. In early January, we reviewed the Reno Aces baseball agreement. We thought it was great, and of course, you all unanimously approved it later in January. We felt like the deal strengthened downtown redevelopment by securing a long-term economic activity, attracting major private investment, and ensuring sustainable vibrancy. We also reviewed the RDA public engagement processes to just make sure that we're getting a lot of feedback in from the public in different ways, calls, surveys, and everything like that, so that our advisory is reflective of the constituency. We also advise staff to continue to experiment with programs like district activation pilots. This stuff is innovative, creative. We're all about pursuing new things that haven't been tried before. And then lastly, I wanted to say that for today, you're going to consider the rebranding of the RDA to re-up. RAB agreed with staff that the rebranding creates a fresh, distinct identity reflecting modern redevelopment and placemaking and boosting awareness and engagement. You will see a few color palettes, and I know you've provided feedback. We liked the Ponderosa Pine color palette when you see that. Lastly, when we get into our March meeting, we got a big meeting. We're going to go over code enforcement overview, how to use RDA funds, the ability to use RDA funds for Reno Police, and if that's something that we can advise to you all. Capital improvement projects, prioritizing those projects, budgeting, and then, of course, reviewing peer city advisory structures and best practices for RDA. So that's what we have for you. I'll take any comments from you all before I have to run out of here, but it's great to see you all.
It's great to see you. Any questions for Mr. Klein? Go right ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. Klein. I don't have a question, but we do try to follow what you're doing. Thank you so much for your public service. I know that you are busy, you have a full professional life and of course, a home life, but the service that you have given to the community really means something. The relaunch of the redevelopment agency is something that was a long time coming, and until it had the sort of funds to be able to do the kinds of things it was going to go out and do, there really wasn't a purpose for such a body. But I know that Madam Mayor felt very strongly about re-energizing this community through the RDA board, and so we've been very happy with your efforts. And I know that there are still growing pains and we're trying to find our footing, but know that we value your input. We're looking for your really deep dive into these projects. We aren't asking you to be a rubber stamp for anything. If these projects are not passing muster, you'll tell us. So I'm very grateful to all of you for serving, but you in particular, just because I know we've known each other a long time, and sometimes it's very thankless work. And it takes time out of your otherwise very busy schedule, so thank you so much.
Thank you for saying that.
Madam
It's-
Mayor?
It's really an honor.
Councilwoman
Yeah,
Burr.
just really briefly, again, thank you for your service. The board is doing a really important job, and to that end, I'm not sure if I heard this in what Councilmember Reese said, but I went over the projects, or some of the projects that you're going to be considering at your meeting on Monday, and it turns out there's something like 35, even just for RDA 1, or maybe that's combined. But we're really looking for your thoughtful advice on those projects. We've heard from our staff, but we really need to hear from you with a fresh set of eyes, and then we'll have our opinion too. But thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to see you all.
Is any further questions? Okay, I just want to put on your radar, I understand Monday, you guys are going to be looking at capital projects, correct? And I think there will be possibly the opinion from an outside attorney. I would just ask you have a very talented attorney on that board, Mr. Mike Pawnee, and I would ask him to review her opinion, because as you know, it's something that's been really important for me to have more public safety downtown, more police officers. I've been saying this, I've been really vocal about it, so would you please ask Mr. Pawnee to look at that, because I highly disagree with the analysis.
Absolutely.
So-
I'll call him right now.
Thank you so much. I know they're not going to like that. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of emails now. But I feel strongly, reading through the NRS, I believe that, there's a connection there. So
Absolutely.
anyway, thank
Thank
you
you
so
all.
much. I really
care.
appreciate these updates.
You guys, it really is an honor.
Thank you no.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul. Okay.
All right, Madam Mayor, with that, we have no additional opening public comment. For the record, we did receive 6 comments, which were general in nature and not directly associated with an agenda item prior to 4 p.m. yesterday, Tuesday, February 24th. These comments were written correspondence received via our reno.gov online public comment form or by emails to our office. Copies of these have been distributed to the Reno City Council and are available to the public on reno.gov/meetings. There were 6 letters. And at this time, we're going to move into our proclamations.
Okay, thank you so much. Actually, before we do that, would you like our city manager, current city manager, to do any updates? Do you have any updates for us?
I will on a.
Okay. All right, I just want to make sure I'm not skipping over you. Okay, Madam Clerk.
Okay, our first proclamation today is the Downtown Reno Partnership Ambassador Day proclamation.
Okay, this is Ambassador Day. I see all of you. Why don't you stand up? I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you guys do day in and day out. I interact with many of you, and it's impressive the work that you do. I know it's not easy, and so we really felt it was important, and especially of a great leader, Naoma Jardin, and she wanted to make sure that you were recognized. The city wanted to make sure that you were recognized, and so I'm going to have Councilmember Reese read the proclamation in your honor. I'd love you guys to come up. Don't be shy. Come on. Come on, you guys.
We'll just stand here for a minute. Neoma, where are you? Come on down here.
She's being shy and sitting in the back. That's what she's doing.
Just fill in, we're all friends.
Then we have Kristen here. They're an incredible team. I see some board members back there. Am I correct?
Madam Mayor, thank you so much, and I'm going to be brief because we have one of our former colleagues, former Vice Mayor, here with us this morning, and so I thought it befitting that she read the proclamation since she's well-trained and does that well. I'm going to let her read the proclamation.
I know.
She
I was
knows
going to
how
say,
I feel about
Councilwoman
her.
Jardin, nice to see you.
I know, forever my Vice Mayor, so I'm going to let her come on up and do some reading.
Okay, take it away.
Thank you very much. And while I get the good pleasure of reading this proclamation, this day is about all of you. So I will begin. Whereas the Downtown Reno Partnership, the DRP ambassadors, are the first point of contact for businesses, residents, and visitors, and act as the eyes and ears of all things downtown. From greeting visitors with a friendly hello, offering directions or recommendations on things to do, eat, and drink, to helping to keep the district clean and safe. Whereas at full staffing, the DRP has approximately 40 ambassadors and 10 security guards that work 24/7, patrolling 110 blocks of downtown Reno to assist in making our urban core safer, cleaner, more friendly, and welcoming. And whereas in 2025, the ambassadors responded to over 3,600 calls for service, removed over 468,000 pounds of trash from the district, recovered 1,177 shopping carts, provided 955 rides to those in need to shelters and services, and removed over 950 graffiti tags. And whereas the downtown Reno represents 1,500 property owners, and the city council is proud of the dedication and work the ambassadors do, so am I, every day and night in tough conditions to enhance the welcoming feel of downtown Reno. Now, I, therefore, Naoma Jardin, with Mayor Sheevy, Mayor of the City of Reno, do hereby proclaim February 25th, 2026 as Downtown Reno Partnership Ambassador Day.
Oh, congratulations. Get to speed today. You get to do whatever you want. He's all shaking his head. No, no, no. But you guys do remarkable work. You did it collectively, all of that. Those stats are impressive. You need to know that. People sing your praises all the time. I know it's not an easy job, but you are the front-facing, the first point of contact with visitors and community members. And so remember that. It's really, when you're out there, you're representing the city, you're representing community members. That's what they see when they interact with you. Many of you stop me on the street. We have great conversations. I know you, I know you, I know you. And I just want to say it's remarkable what you do. I do want to point out, I think this is important that people know this, and I hope that I don't make this individual blush, but there is a young man here. His name is Xavier House. Do I have permission to call you out, my friend? I do. Are you shy, or do you want to speak? Because this is a remarkable story. Let me tell you why. Councilwoman Jardin, when she was here, she started an incredible program, and it's called Reno Works. And we have opportunities for individuals that are homeless living in the shelter through Reno Works. And what that program does is it gives you weeks of training, and you go through job training and all these different skills, and you get your driver's license, all these things that are necessary, and you get housing. And so it really it has had a massive impact. And this young man, everyone, graduated from Reno Works, and now he is an ambassador in our city. And I just think it's a testament to how well Reno works. And you, young man, for being so dedicated, pulling yourself up. I know it's not an easy program, but it's really beneficial. And anyone that wants to, work or have a roof over their head, it's a great opportunity to be able to make that happen. I want to say thank you to Councilwoman Jordan. Had it not been for her, that never, ever would have happened. And I've just been grateful to be able to support it. By the way, the Conference of Mayors through Wells Fargo donated money. So I just want to stress to individuals out there, if there's anyone that wants to be a part of Reno Works right now more than ever, those donations can really matter and help people like Xavier. And I'm so touched by you and what you've accomplished. So you guys should all be proud, because all of this is your day. All of this collectively together, we cannot do anything without one another. So I want to just say thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I want you to speak. Speech. Come on, Xavier. Come on, future mayor. Come on, let's talk about it. Okay, tell us a little bit about your journey if you're not too shy.
Yes, I was homeless, and a couple of the motivations was I was helping take care of my mom too. So Reno Works, going through that program really helped me a lot. I met a lot of good people, had a lot of good connections. They connected me with with the ambassadors, and I've been here for about 4 years now.
4 years. He has been working for 4 years. Wow, that is remarkable. Look at you, he's shy. I can tell. How are you feeling now?
Great.
You're feeling great.
Yes.
And you're such an inspiration. Please keep telling your story. It's a story of hope. And I want people to know the number one predictor of suicide is hopelessness. When we give people hope, anything can happen. So I just want to say thank you. And each and every one of you guys, I just knew that Xavier might be here, and so I could corner him and embarrass him a little bit. But today is all about you guys collectively as a group. I want to say thank you to Kristen and your wonderful team, and Councilwoman Jordan. You'll always be Councilwoman to me. Any questions for our ambassadors? I'd love for Councilwoman, it's right in your ward, so take it away.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As a member of the DRP board and the only person that lives downtown, I just want to say thank you so much for all of your work. I know you guys probably know my number by heart. I called this morning and you're out there, and it is a very difficult job, but you definitely are making a difference in our city, in our downtown, and in our communities. So you are very much appreciated. Thank you for the work you do, and it's very difficult. Thank you.
Councilman or Vice Mayor Martinez, go ahead.
Thanks so much, Madam Mayor. I'd just like to add to the kudos and thank you all for all the work that you do. Whether I'm downtown or driving to City Hall, it's raining or it's snowing, you all are picking up trash, making sure that the sidewalks are shoveled, that their carts are getting to where they need to be, that you're directing people to the right places and answering questions for all of our visitors. So I'd just like to add to those kudos and thank you all for all the great work that you do to make sure our downtown remains clean and a welcoming space for all of our families and visitors. So thank you so much.
Councilwoman Dewar?
Yeah, thank you. I was here at the beginning with Councilmember Jordan in the beginning of Reno Works, and to have a representative of that program in your very special program of being downtown ambassadors, and everything the mayor said about being the front face, we could not be that kind of welcoming city without you. And I'm wondering how many of you have helped people find their way through downtown, something they were looking for. Could you raise your hand? Yeah. And I know I've been out with Councilmember Jordan picking up trash herself. And I also am very grateful of the place you occupy, which is at City Center. And Councilmember Jordan said a very important thing to me. She said she didn't used to believe that trees made a difference to the degree that they do, but the area where you are housed is the only park in downtown Reno that actually has trees. I mean, now we're bringing them into the lids and everywhere else because we found out how important that is. And she said, I'm sure glad we didn't cut down these trees. Isn't that right? So thank you for being there, and thank you all for what you do. And it's completely true. You wear a special outfit, you know, the blue, and people recognize that as one of the city's colors, and they know that you are there to help them. And that's just incredibly important. So thank you.
We would love to take a picture. Before we do that, I want to call on each one of you, and I want you to tell me your names, because sometimes when I'm out there, I mix them up, but I want every one of you to be recognized. He's walking away. He's walking away. All right, we'll start with you, sir. Go ahead. What's your name? Avo? Nice to meet you. Go ahead. Shane. Jason. Eddie. I know Eddie. Eddie's got the cool taste in music. Go ahead. Ruben. Juan. Mark.
Jonah.
John?
Jonah.
Jonah. Oh, I love that name. We don't know who you are. Go ahead. Alexandria. Beautiful. D. I've heard a lot of good things about you, D. Mm-hmm. Esther. We all know Esther. Dane. I know Dane very well. Great work. Rachel. Well, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. We're very, very grateful. So let's take a picture, can we? Okay, come on up.
They gotta scooch. They gotta scooch. Garden cats. You want him to hold their thing? Oh, here. Maybe Eddie or Jonah or somebody.
Okay, you guys ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Got it?
Yeah?
Okay. Thank you guys.
Yeah, hold on to those. Okay, Madam.
All right, Madam Mayor, we're moving into our next special guest public comment. We have a group of students here with We the People. So they have a couple of comments that are prepared, and then we can go into kind of taking some photos and recognizing them if you're okay with that.
Okay, these are our leaders of tomorrow. You guys are the future of our city. I had the pleasure to visit your class, We the People. Impressive. I know Councilmember Reese has done a ton of work with We the People. I didn't know that. You guys didn't tell me whenever I was there. But we're so excited to have you here because you have something very special to tell us. And so come on up, all of you.
All right, Madam Mayor, and our first two speakers today are Amaya Roper and Gabe Castronova.
Hello, council members. My name is Amaya Roper, and I'm a senior at Reno High School. I'm here today with my classmates to talk about our We the People program and how you can help us represent Nevada at the national level. We the People is a civic education program from the Center for Civic Education that teaches students about American constitutional democracy. The We the People program takes a village. Our teacher, Mr. Brian Carlin, our unit coaches, parents, and many alumni have helped us throughout the year. Nevada's We the People is continuously growing and impacting more and more young adults. It started as a competition for high school students. However, last year, Washoe County's very own Doral Academy was the first middle school team to advance to state in Nevada. The program is designed to develop the skills necessary for active, informed citizenship. It encourages students to understand the foundations of American democracy and to tie them into modern context. To me, We the People is a family, not just a class. The competition has built my confidence and public speaking skills and deepened my constitutional knowledge. Beyond that, the class collaboration encourages me to challenge myself every day to understand our democracy. Now I'd like to pass the mic to my colleague Gabe, who will dive deeper into the structure of the class.
Fantastic job, good job.
Thank you, Amaya Roper, for the introduction. Hello, my name is Gabe Castronova, representative for Unit 1 at Reno High School. The We the People class is officially an AP government class. However, the true brilliance of the program comes from its competition, which celebrates our Constitution and the history and culture of the United States of America. Divided into 6 units, which range from the philosophical background of the founders to landmark Supreme Court decisions to what America ought to do to preserve the long-enduring American vision, students across the country compete in mock congressional hearings. Units, usually composed of 3 to 5 students, dive into various aspects of our democratic republic with a 4-minute pre-written testimony as an introduction, followed by 10 minutes of cross-examination where competitors are challenged to use history, common law, and constitutional provisions to support their arguments. Since the competition's creation, some 30 million students and over 75,000 educators have participated in the We the People program nationally, with this program being especially significant to the legacy of Reno High School. Since our adoption of the program 19 years ago, we have become district champions 11 times, state champions 8 times, and national qualifiers 13 times. Recently, the Reno High School team has qualified for the national tournament on wildcard after losing the state tournament by only 4 points. Now I'd like to introduce my esteemed colleague, Devin Lester, who will further go into our national qualifications for this year.
Fantastic, A+.
Our next 2 speakers are Devin Lester and Braden Hurley.
All right, Devin, take it away.
Good morning, Council. Thank you for having us today. My name is Devin Lester. I'm representing Reno High We the People's Unit 3. And I'll just be talking about how our class earned the honor of going to the national championship. So at the We the People state tournament, following our win at the district tournament in December, it was the culmination of 6 months of constant studying, revising, and practicing that extended far beyond our class time. If there's one thing I can say about my classmates in We the People, it's that they are the hardest workers I've ever met. Our units meet on weekends, early in the morning, late at night, and everything in between. I've honestly probably shared more meals with my unit than I have with my family this school year. As a young adult on my way to being able to make important decisions for our country, this class is not just an exciting competition, but it has made me more prepared than most people I know to be civically engaged and a knowledgeable citizen. Despite a hard-fought battle for the state title and 4 out of 6 first place wins, we lost by 4 points. As my colleague Gabe explained, we gained our seat to nationals through a wild card invitation. Sorry.
No, you're doing great.
Wild cards are performance-based, and they're given to teams that earn second place at state championships, and that are most likely, that display the most ability to represent their state on the national level. As a team, we have taken the second place not as a loss, but as the heartbreak and motivation we need to take first in the nation. We are now preparing harder than ever to represent our school, our district, and our state on the national level in Washington, D.C. in April. I would now like to introduce my classmate and colleague, Braden Hurley, to elaborate on our trip to nationals.
Okay, great job. 4 points. Ouch.
Thank you. So I'm going to focus on the trip, and I represent Unit 4, which focuses on the principles on how the principles of the Constitution have shaped the institutions of our government. And there is no better place to learn about the institutions than in the nation's capital. During our trip, we will have the opportunity to participate in the competition where we will engage in the most pressing debates surrounding the Constitution today, such as the debate surrounding executive power, federalism, and the balance of powers. As my colleagues have previously discussed, we have put countless hours of thought and study into these questions, and we will now have the opportunity to demonstrate this knowledge to experts in D.C. Not only will we engage in questions surrounding the government, but we will also see what we have been studying for in person. We will get the opportunity to meet our senators, Jackie Rosen and Catherine Cortez Masto, as well as Representative Mark Amodei.
Good.
We also have the opportunity to visit the archives, the Capitol building, the Supreme Court and the Library of Congress, the Smithsonian, and many other important locations, including a Nationals baseball game for some team bonding.
Wow. Looks like Devin didn't know that. His jaw just dropped. Are you giving us some tea? Is that what's happening here?
Yeah, a little bit.
I love it.
Okay, then I'll introduce John Williamson and Charlotte.
Charlotte Odie and John Williamson.
Hi. My name is John Williamson, and I'm a representative of Unit 6. And I really wish we could end this discussion with the inspiring words and personal testimony of my colleagues. Unfortunately, we run into the harsh realities of finances. As you know, values and beneficial programs are all well and good, but what cannot be forgotten is the necessary foundations and backings that programs like We the People live or die on. To get our entire class to the nation's capital to compete, along with the travel, lodging fees, and any more expenses, we have calculated that we need over $100,000.
Wow.
And we realize this is a big number. We have been working tirelessly to reach this goal through fundraising. We've done raffles, community outreach, and through many generous donations, we have already reached about 30,000 of that goal. And while we will continue these fundraising efforts, working harder and harder to reach that goal, we ask for your help to accomplish this so you can allow us to represent Reno on the national stage of civic participation. For some final thoughts, here is my colleague, Charlotte.
Fantastic job. You're selling me for sure, but there's 30 of you that want to go, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's why it's so expensive?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go right ahead.
Good morning, Council. I am Charlotte Odie, and I am our representative from Reno High School's Unit 5. While it may be true that we appear before you all today asking you to support this year's We the People team, what we really hope to see is continued community support for programs like ours, which are essential to a healthy democracy. Participation in We the People has inspired countless students to make the decision to pursue politics and law, ensuring that the next generation will be educated and excited to maintain functions of government such as City Council. In fact, if it weren't for our teacher, Brian Carlin, I would not have spent my year interning with our city clerk's office.
We know this. Proud mama over there.
It is only by the fiery passion in each of one of our minds and hearts regarding American government that we are able to prepare for the competition facing us. What we are asking council today is simply to add flame to our collective fire. Thank you very much for your time.
Wow, incredible, you guys. Well done. Give them a round of applause. Okay, I want to get extra credit for coming here. No? Okay, well, tell them you got to change that. But the reason why, let me tell you, that they felt so passionate about coming here. I know they talked a lot about the program. However, for a lot of these kids, because I had some private time with some of your other students or your friends, and a lot of them said that it has really been their safe haven, that at home is not always the best. And it was a place where they felt welcomed and that they had camaraderie amongst each of you. And it provided something that they never, ever thought possible. And the reality, too, is I think there's a perception that certain schools have more access to funding than others. And that is not true. And you have some students that will not be able to get to go to Washington, D.C., and it might be the only trip that they ever have outside of the city of Reno. And so I just want everyone to know they are here, actually the voice of these students who want to desperately go. And how many of you have been to Washington, D.C.? It changes your life. You learn about the history of our country. It is probably one of the most patriotic things you can do. It is so moving and inspiring. I know your kids are there. Aren't they there right now? Well, they live there.
No, my oldest did an internship with Cortez Masto.
And did it change your life?
Yes.
Now she wants to go into politics. So mom's in trouble. Is that what she's? No, but I think, when you hear these stories and give these opportunities, it's really, really remarkable. But I just think this is the one trip, if you're going to ever see anything, if someone said you get one opportunity to go someplace, this is the place to go because it really is the heart and soul of our country. And so I would just say we want to help you in that journey. And I'm going to hand it over to Councilman Reese for some words. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Madam Mayor. First of all, thank you all for being here today. It's always encouraging. I've had the privilege to work with your program for the last several years, and I wanted to give a shout out to, of course, you've already mentioned Mr. Carlin, but also your co-coaches, I suppose, Haley Rowe, Colonel Scott Marriott, Matt Oakes, Kathy Morse, Atlee Weems, Graydon Giel, Lauren Pawnee, Mike Pawnee, and Scott Daniel. I will tell you and date myself a little bit. In 1990, I was one of the first classes of students to participate in We the People in this state, and at the time, we just had McQueen, Reed, and Incline in the program. So you all are carrying on a tradition that's a very long and proud one for our region, but I don't know that any program has been as successful as yours over the years. I think last year you finished 5th in the nation. So you've got a lot of big shoes to fill, and I know that that weighs heavy on you. But the truth is that this preparation that you're going through even today is part of that preparation. Being able to see the wheels of government work is not always something that civic education has prioritized. And so I meet your colleagues and graduates of your program years later, and they're in law school. They're running for office. They are the change makers in our community. So I'm very grateful for you. I will be with you in DC in April, and we'll have dinner together. So it'll be a privilege to spend time with each of you. Thank you so much. I can't wait to work with you. Let's do some practice rounds, get into some of those units. It'll be great. Unit 6 is my jam, so I'm ready.
Okay, but we got to get them there first. We got to raise some money.
And so I'm going to help on the financial piece by helping pay for food while you're there. And so we'll see what the mayor might have in mind for some other help and support.
Any other council members?
I just wondered.
Yeah.
So have you aggregated how much it's going to cost and how far are you along on your fundraising?
Currently, we have a $120,000 estimate. We've raised 30 of that 120.
Okay.
It's very expensive because you have to have buses. Because I broke it down. I was like, wow, but for 30 people, if you think about it, it's airfare, it's buses, it's lodging, it's food. It's a lot. A lot goes into it.
Is it 30 that you're trying to bring, including your coaches and everyone?
The estimated cost for each student is $3,600, and the way that we have, yes. The estimated cost for each student is $3,600, and the way that our program attempts to gather funding from the students itself is by having parents help with half of each student's, but if that's not possible, then of course the school will take on the funds for any student who is not able to pay for their half, and that is just the estimated cost for the students. We also bring our unit coaches, as he mentioned, and the teachers and parents who come along with us to help support.
Okay, so of the 120,000, would you say half of that is going to be provided by the students themselves?
Roughly
Roughly.
half.
Yeah. So you're trying to raise 60,000.
Yeah.
Is that right? And you've raised 30,000. So you're looking for another 30,000. Okay.
So I would love to see a joint fundraiser with all of us, because we all have some of our supporters and people that have been very gracious to us, whether it's mentorship or financially. And so I'd like to ask the entire council that we have a joint fundraiser. Obviously, we've got to run it by Carl because it could be an open meeting law, but anyway, that's my ask of the council, is that we invite our friends and supporters and some way do a fundraiser for them so they can all participate.
And then you're going in April, right? This April. So that's
So we have a little bit of time, but it's not
not
around the
9 days.
corner. So we gotta get working. Well, thanks, you guys. We're so grateful that you came today, and I'm really proud of each of you. I mean, you got up there and you spoke like pros. And did you have a great time in your internship?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. She's coming back.
I love my internship. I'm coming back this summer.
Oh,
Trust.
see, she's coming back. Anyway, thank you, guys. We really appreciate it. Okay, I'm gonna tell your teacher what you did. He's gonna be so proud.
And Madam Mayor, can we take a photo?
Yeah, let's do it really quick. You have to tell him you only get a photo if you get credit. I want to see you guys get credit. Okay, ready?
1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Bye, you guys. Great.
All right, Madam Mayor, with that, we have no additional public comment. Moving into item A4, approval of the agenda.
I'm going to make a motion to approve. Do I get a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say
Before we
aye.
go, do we have any changes from?
There are no changes. You will recognize we have some members of the Reno Rodeo Foundation in the audience. They're here for item B11.
Which I was going to pull off the agenda. It's in my
I
ward.
know, let's get the
So-
agenda approved first.
So we have no changes, and we have no attorney-client today.
Okay, perfect.
Move to approve,
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Madam Clerk.
Moving into item A5, approval of the, or acceptance of the minutes.
May I get a motion? I have a motion. I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Moving into the consent agenda, we'll start with pulled items.
All right, I'm going to ask council members, please be ready to pull your items. Councilwoman Anderson. All right, Councilwoman Taylor. Councilman Martinez. Okay, I'm pulling B11. I'm sure you guys want
I
to pull.
was already pulling
B11.
B11.
nothing else, Madam Mayor.
Nothing else?
Yeah.
Councilwoman?
I was pulling a B11.
Okay. Councilwoman Ebert, is she on the phone?
Yes, I'm not, I have no items to pull today. Thank you.
Okay.
Approve all
All
remaining
right,
items.
thank you so
Second.
much. I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Item B11, this is super, super exciting. I mean, this is big. This is really, really big. Okay, we are going to have the one and only come up and
And Madam Mayor, if we
present
can
it.
start too, we do have public comment from George Combs.
All right, we're going to take George's public comment. Well, wait, actually, let's have all you guys come up, and then we will have our our very own Landon Miller come up and tell us
And introduce everyone here real
why
quickly.
they're here, what this about,
Yeah.
how exciting this is. This is huge.
Yeah, and I want to give them the opportunity to speak on it, but for the record, my name is Landon Miller, Fund Development Manager for Parks and Rec for the City of Reno, and today you've pulled item B11, which is the acceptance of a $120,000 grant from the Reno Rodeo Association to make some improvements at Idlewild Park. So with that, we have some guests here, including George. He is the
one and
president.
only George.
Yeah,
We know George from
of the Reno Rodeo
Combs.
Association, and he can take it away, and they'll be able to answer any questions that you may have. So
Someone,
Thank
I'm
you,
very,
George.
very fond of everyone. If you don't know George, then you don't know Reno. He's amazing.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mayor. Thanks for having us today. Thanks, City Council. On behalf of the Reno Rodeo Association, I have the current president, Mark Sutton,
Hi, Mark.
our second vice president, Justin Thompson, and
Justin.
our treasurer, Andy Morency.
Hi. Fabulous shirt. Can I have
And-
that? I want it.
You know, given a little past history, Reno Rodeo's been around for 100-plus years. Oldest, longest-running legacy event in the city of Reno. And we're very community-minded and very willing to help out in the community. And what we've done this year is kind of we gather funds from tips at the rodeo. When people come to the rodeo and they leave tips, all them tips go into a fund. And it's for the Special Kids Fund to support. And we've helped build playgrounds and gymnasiums and all kinds of things. So we let that build up, and then we go out and look for cause to spend that money. And we had a little over $200,000 this year that we decided it's time to get this money to work in the community. And so we put out feelers to try to find projects that we wanted to be involved with, and got in touch with Brandon, talked about the Idlewild Park and redoing the splash pads and making some ADA handicap accessibilities and stuff. And we felt it was a great cause and we wanted to do it. So we are here to present you with $120,000 to that project.
Wow.
As long as you'll accept it.
Wow. No, definitely not. Oh my gosh, George, that's amazing. Everyone give him a huge round of applause. And you have
Brought a
you have
check
the
so we
press
could
here,
get a- so
so
we could
I want
get
to
a
make
picture.
sure that they highlight you guys.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. Come on
Well,
up.
before we do that, Madam Mayor, I also pulled this item, and I just wanted to give you the opportunity, along possibly with Landon, to talk about what it's going to be used for, because I think it's very special. Do you want to come up, Landon?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Landon Miller, Fund Development Manager for the City of Reno's Parks and Rec Department. What we're going to do is we're going to allocate this money and design and build improvements to the splash pad, specifically at Idlewild Park.
Right.
We're going to probably start this project, at least the design phase now, over the next several months, leading up until September, and then hopefully start the construction itself after September, shut it down, and then have everything back open for spring of next year.
Yeah.
The $120,000 will fit the scope of the project entirely, and we'll build to that. So,
And my understanding is that the ADA aspects of it will allow people that aren't normally either walking or motivating onto the splash pad and reconfigure the splash pad so that they can share the water. I mean, they could enter in wheelchairs or other type of mobility equipment. Is that correct?
yeah, that is 100% correct. To your point, we have Karina in our parks planning area. She's already looking at some of the elements right now that include accessibility. We're also going to include April Wolf and the Access Advisory Committee as well. So everyone has a little bit of a stake in this project. It's also cool too. I don't know if anyone's aware here, but 100 years for Idlewild Park is
Yes.
next year. So
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of
perfect
momentum
timing.
moving into that celebration for sure.
And I just wanted to give a heartfelt thanks to the Rodeo Association because without this would never happen. This is unfortunately, sadly, not the top priority. You know, usually the top priority is just getting police, fire, our basic services, our most basic services. Even we just heard about Reno Works. They're on the chopping block for our next budget season. In fact, they're done. So those kind of programs that actually help people, lift people up, make their life more enjoyable are very hard to get funded. So, but for what you are doing, this would not be happening. And as the Ward 2 representative where Idlewild Park is, I'm just incredibly grateful, but not just for Ward 2, but for everyone in the city that will be able to enjoy this.
Thank you, and we're honored to be able to do it. We're 1,000 volunteers strong in this organization, and then we have a staff of 6 people.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing at what we can do and the passion that our 1,000 people have for what we do and be able to help in the
And
community.
it's their tips. I mean, it's their.
This is just tip money.
I know. This
I
is
don't
tip
think
money.
people really realize, rodeo, by the way, is my most favorite time of year. I absolutely love it. George knows. I like especially all the bad food.
All the bad
I
food.
love to go there and eat. But, my favorite is all the roping and the bulls. Everything is amazing. It's so I just want you to know, I don't think people realize when they go there, they're also supporting the community in a way that makes a huge difference. I know a lot of people go there because they're such fans, and it's our history and our heritage. It is one of the most remarkable events that we have. But again, it really is a testament to your mission and how you give back to the community. Because like I said, I don't know if people really realize the magnitude of how much you give back. It's impressive and it's commendable. So George, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, my friend. You guys are really top-notch organization, and please let us know how we can also support you.
All right, thank you.
Do you want to? No? Okay. All right. What else? Let's get a picture. Because you have a check. You have a big check.
Well, Madam Mayor, can we take a motion to approve?
Yes. Oh, I guess we better do that. George, we joked about not approving it, and I guess we better approve that.
Yes.
So may I get a
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to
Okay.
approve acceptance of these funds from the Reno Rodeo Foundation.
All right, Councilwoman Dewar has made a motion. Second is Councilman Reese. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Can you imagine if opposed? Anyway, come on up. Yeah, we should probably go off. This is a big deal.
Oh, they're coming down on the bottom? Okay, I didn't realize they were all coming down.
Thank you. I was just going to do the same thing.
I love that.
Right here.
Okay, so all eyes were here. Wait, you want to cuddle up with this? Yeah.
Right.
Here we go.
All right, Mr. Vice Mayor, we're moving on to item C1, Charlie 1.
Great. Thank you so much. And I think this is for Director Van Buren. Do we have any public comment on this item?
We do not have any public comment registered and have not received any correspondence on this item.
Mr. Vice Mayor, is there a way for us to move Charlie 4 out of order? We've got folks from RTC here today, and I'd like to get them back to their RTC stuffs. Not that I don't want to hear Ms. Van Buren, of course.
Yeah, that's a great point. Director Van Buren, if you don't mind waiting until the next item. So we'll take these items out of order. We'll start with C4 and then move back to item C1. Is there any public comment on agenda item C4, the RTC and our local agreement?
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. We do not have any public comment registered on item C4. Additionally, we have not received any correspondence on this item.
Perfect. Mr. Wilson, I think this is all you.
Okay. So, good morning, Madam Mayor and council members. For the record, Khalil Wilson, Assistant Director of Public Works. Joining me here today is Mr. Dale Keller, the Director of Engineering for the Regional Transportation Commission. We're here to present the RTC fiscal year 2027 interlocal cooperative agreement, which we bring to council annually to authorize projects to move forward into design and construction. First, I'd like to briefly walk through how RTC project planning implementation process takes place. This graphic shows how the projects move from long-range planning into programming and ultimately into design and construction. All projects begin at the Regional Transportation Plan, or RTP. That's the 20-year plan that establishes the region's priorities for maintaining and improving our transportation system. The current RTP was adopted by the RTC board in February of last year. From there, projects move into the Regional Transportation Improvement Program, or RTIP. That's the 5-year program that identifies funding for scheduled projects for project delivery. The RTIP is updated every 2 years, and projects must be included in the RTP to move forward. That brings us to why we're here today. This is the annual agreement, which allows these program projects to advance to design and construction. This slide summarizes what the interlocal agreement does. Because RTC does not own any roadways, this agreement formally authorizes RTC to act as the city's agent to move program projects into design and construction. It clearly outlines the roles and responsibilities for project delivery in Reno's jurisdiction. And if right-of-way acquisition becomes necessary, it provides RTC with the authorization to proceed with the acquisition. Would like to provide more detail of what's included in this year's interlocal cooperative agreement. The projects are organized into 4 categories. Starting on the left is pavement preservation projects. These projects focus on keeping our regional roadways in good condition through preventative maintenance, things like surface treatments and rehabilitation, helping us extend the life of our infrastructure. Next are traffic signals and intelligent transportation systems, or ITS. This project includes intersection improvements,
new signal installations, and fiber optic connections to improve coordination and traffic flow. The third category is active transportation program, which focuses on improvements for people walking and biking, connectivity, and access through the mobility networks. And finally, we have roadway projects. This year's ICA has 3 major roadway project investments: the O'Brien Pass Safety Project, the Keystone Avenue Safety Improvements, and the South Virginia Reconstruction and Virginia Line BRT improvements. Each of these categories play an important role in maintaining and improving our transportation system. In the next few slides, I'll highlight the active transportation program projects and the roadway projects that are included in the agreement. In the last slide, I mentioned the active transportation program. This is the overarching regional vision for active mobility. You probably also heard the term neighborhood network planning. To put that vision of active transportation into action, at the local level, neighborhood network planning areas were developed. These plans identify specific streets and connections based on data and community input. With that framework, the region is divided into 12 planning areas. They're ranked based on factors like crash history, bike connections, proximity to schools, and where there are areas of strong potential for walking and biking. The goal is to make improvements where they'll have the biggest impact. These plans emphasize quick build, cost-effective treatments that target safety improvements, particularly in high pedestrian activity areas. So, under this agreement, the areas moving forward are Sun Valley and Panther area, Area 2, and Meadowood and Hidden Valley, Area 10. They'll move into design and implementation. Those are shown on the exhibit there on the left, on the right-hand side, highlighted in yellow. Next, we have our roadway projects. The first roadway project is the O'Brien Pass Safety Project. This project will improve safety along North Valleys along Golden Valley Road, which transitions into West 7th Street between Estates Road and Sun Valley Boulevard. While the majority of this project is located within Washoe County jurisdiction, there is a portion within the city of Reno. Total estimated investment is approximately $20 million, with construction anticipated in 2029. Next is the Keystone Avenue Safety Project. This will improve intersection operations and pedestrian facilities along Keystone Avenue from 1st Street to I-80. The project is estimated at $5.3 million, and construction anticipated to begin in 2029. And finally, the South Virginia Street Rehabilitation will reconstruct Virginia Street from Meadowood Mall, which is the southern end of the RTC BRT line, all the way north to Moana Lane. This will enhance transit connectivity and performance along the corridor and include ADA upgrades to improve accessibility for all users. Preliminary design is set for 2027, and construction is anticipated for 2029. And the total investment for this project is $20 million. This concludes my presentation. There is the motion, and myself and Mr. Keller are here to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you. Good job. Okay, Councilman Reese, go ahead.
Ever so briefly, I wanted to ask about a couple of things. First is a very specific program. I have the privilege of representing this body at the RTC, so perhaps we know a little bit more because of that. But there is a program that we have prioritized at the RTC, which I think may be helpful to address one of my colleagues' concerns. So in the Smithridge area, there is a bus route that really needs some improvement. It is hard for people with mobility impairments to get to bus stops, and also has some fencing that blows down with some frequency. And for my part, I want to make sure that we are making that known at this body, that that's a priority for us through the bus stop rehabilitation program, which RTC is committed to doing, but it has to really address those access points along those roadways. So that's one example. Is that something that you are tracking or can help us to close the door on?
Yes, I'll pass that question off to Mr. Keller.
Good morning. Dale Keller, Deputy Executive Director for the record for the RTC. Councilmember Reese, yes, so we have this bus stop improvement program that we focus on every year with. What you'll see later in construction this summer, different various connections to help with the sidewalk connections to our bus stops. We're looking forward to continue that program moving on. Right now, we don't have a project at this time at the Smithridge area, but I know this is going to be a discussion with the RTC board coming up next month.
Well, I guess I'm telling you, when I hear my colleagues at this dais raise significant issues, we want to address them. So that's then what we are tasked with doing. Obviously, it fits a broader regional goal, which is we are trying to make sure that our bus system is not just a random sign on the side of a roadway. We actually need shelter for people to sit under or stand under when they're waiting for the bus in inclement weather. We need to make sure that people with mobility impairments can get there, so that often involves sidewalk changes, configurations, repairs. And in this case, in Mr. Martinez's ward, I feel like we have not figured out that it seems a small issue, right, when a fence blows down, but it becomes a huge life-saving and life-changing issue when someone who needs to access that route, needs a bus to get there, cannot do it. So please understand that I'll be pushing you to expansively view that as an opportunity for us to make those improvements, okay?
Thank you, Councilmember Reese. And to that point, what we hear anecdotally, we're also seeing from the data-driven, from those neighborhood network plans that Mr. Wilson discussed in that area by Meadowwood Mall. We actually saw a lot of input and comments about how we improve that connectivity around that Meadowwood Mall area and that Smith Ridge area as well. So the data helps support that.
Well, and I don't have much time, and I'll just try to get this out quickly, but it's still a question for you, Mr. Keller. You were here a couple of weeks ago when we had a project that it was a very important project for our region, a very difficult vote. It was the Lake Ridge Golf Course project. And at that time, there was a lot of discussion about improvements to Lakeside and McCarran. I want to make sure you are hearing from this body, and you were here, so I assume you are hearing, that is a priority for us. And so I want to make sure that we're really directing our effort at looking at that intersection at Lakeside and McCarran and the area just there, because it is very important to our region, and a lot of people are impacted by it.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And if I could have Dale still. Yeah, Dale, I could just say ditto, but the main focus I have are two projects. One is the Lakeside and McCarran. I know that you've designed it, is what I've heard.
Councilman Dewar, we are at a 30% design.
Oh, 30%.
Yep.
Okay, so you haven't fully designed it. So, and I've heard you have budget challenges, and I've heard you've asked for money from NDOT, and that they have not come forward with that yet. And I guess what I'm saying is sometimes, and I know it's important to get the cost share because it's an NDOT built and managed road. But that said, it's almost like a jurisdictional dispute, because at the end of the day, our people are suffering. Our people that are driving or even walking along that area are suffering. I myself have gotten, stopped trying to enter McCarran from any which way during any number of hours where, while I have the green light, I can't turn. It's a parking lot. So I want to make sure that we do prioritize finishing the design and constructing the thing. And as I understand it, in comparison to some other projects, it's not that level expensive. I mean, some of the projects you mentioned, 20 million, et cetera, I know it's not on that order of magnitude. The second thing I wanted to ask is, I wanted to follow up on the intersection of Rio Wrangler and, what do you call it?
Steamboat.
Steamboat. No, it's by the high school. The Monument High School. There's supposed to be a roundabout being constructed.
Correct.
Could you speak to that?
Yes, ma'am. Councilmember Dewar, so last ICA, we approved moving forward with those roundabout improvements at Steamboat and Rio Wrangler as that intersection. There's also Macaulay.
Oh, you're doing, that's what I thought you were doing Macaulay.
No, Macaulay was also, we're looking to, because there's also a future project about widening that stretch of Rio Wrangler. So we're looking
Exactly,
how they
in
would
front
all
of the high school.
Correct, to see how they all connect together. So what we're moving forward is with that roundabout, as we have in the ICA, then also study the first in front of the roundabout for that future widening of Rio Wrangler. So we have money and we have dedicated resources in the ICA to move forward with that roundabout at Steamboat and Rio Wrangler.
Okay, I didn't realize, I know that, I mean, it's a tight intersection in terms of there's a whole development there with a fence or a wall. Are you planning to do everything, I guess, to the west of that, or?
So, yes, ma'am, we are. And we're starting to look at the whole corridor itself in Rio Wrangler, see how the traffic flows all together, making sure whatever we build for that roundabout at Rio Wrangler is also compatible for future development.
The only thing I would ask when you do these roundabouts is that you make them as big as possible, because when you go with those tight ones like they have at Somerset and other places, it's just very hard to navigate, and there's a tremendous amount of traffic coming through already. But in the future, to your point, there's business to the north, there's development to the north. And so a lot of people are going to be going through that roundabout. And I'm really hoping you can get a handle on it and get it built. So thank you.
I have just some questions on the projects in Ward 4, just to get a little more information. Can you tell me more about what this project will include in Panther Valley?
The O'Brien Pass one?
Yes.
So that's the O'Brien Pass. So that's what we're getting for, we're getting ready to put this into design, preliminary design, to identify the improvements that need to take place. So things like adding sidewalk, crossings, we'll put that evaluation.
Okay, I think I'm having like a little bit of a disconnect because Panther Valley to me is south, like a south area of the 395, like off Virginia, like.
Yeah, so this area is actually Golden Valley Road.
Yeah, that's what
Up there,
yeah.
off of, by North Valley's High School.
Yeah,
and
so
down to Sun Valley.
there is something on here that says Panther Valley. So what is the Panther Valley project?
Is there referring to the next item that is the ILA, maybe?
I'm sorry?
I do have another item on the council agenda that's for the ILA.
Okay. Let me look. I believe it was on your map here. Yeah, or it says, following extensive public engagement process, of priority areas were identified in advance for design. The city of Reno selected areas for the FY27 ICA to include Sun Valley and Panther Valley area.
Gotcha. I apologize.
Okay.
So this is the active transportation program. So this is where we take the active transportation planning and narrow it down into neighborhood planning areas.
Okay.
Where we identify some connections for mobility networks.
Okay.
So we did public, RTC worked on public engagement to develop specific streets that they would put mobility plans on.
Okay.
Mobility network on.
Okay, so what is a mobility plan?
So it's essentially active transportation, so things like bikes, walking, scooters, things like that.
Okay, and would those be divided? Would there be some type of barrier, like a curb for those areas? And I ask because we've had pedestrian fatalities along North Virginia at the Panther Valley area. So I'm very concerned about pedestrian safety, people on bikes, because we don't have a lot of public transportation. There is a lot of foot traffic or people on bicycles. So I just want to know what exactly, what safety precautions will be included.
Thanks for that question. So essentially, depending on the speed and volume of the roadway is how you put the treatment in place. Of whether or not it's high speed and high volume, then you separate. We'll look at also neighborhood areas where we can do this, where the speeds are actually slower, to make sure that we're putting people in a safe area.
Okay. Is it possible, if it's an area where maybe you couldn't justify a curb, maybe you could put like plastic, those things that stick up, just as a more visible reminder to people to stay out of those areas. I think sometimes people drive a little too fast and don't pay attention to sharing the road with other people. So I just want to say that. I have other things, but I'll come back.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. So I don't know if my time starts over then. So another point of concern I get from the Panther Valley community a lot is access in and out of the valley. So I don't know if there's anything in the plan to look into more ways to get in and out of that area, especially with the increasing development, and there's been a lot of industrial and different types of things going in there. I've had a lot of concern from the residents in that area that it is difficult to get in and out, and also the business owners have expressed a lot of frustration, especially during the time that NDOT is doing construction on the freeway, that there is really limited access to get in and out. It's been an extreme detriment to a lot of the businesses in that area. So I don't know if that's part of the plan, but I would recommend looking for ways to have access points in and out of Panther Valley. The other part I wanted to talk about, the Golden Valley part, I know that there's a small portion of Golden Valley in Reno. The majority of it is in the county. So I'm just wondering, if there's going to be more focus on infrastructure within the city of Reno. Like the huge bulk of that project is not going to be within the city of Reno boundaries.
So Khalil Wilson, Assistant Director of Public Works, for the record. What's benefit to the citizens that RTC leads this effort is that they can make it on a regional collaboration. So we would collaborate on areas that are Washoe County and in the city of Reno to make sure that we have a seamless connection between the two. So, because our citizens are blind to jurisdiction, right? We want to make sure we have consistency through the corridor.
Okay, so with that area, do you know now, have you done traffic studies? Do you know if there would be a divided bike lane in that area?
That's what this IC is all about, so we can get going with those types of.
Okay, so it's to be determined.
determined, yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
Do you want me to make a motion? Oh, okay. I move to move to approve the Regional Transportation Commission FY 2027 Interlocal Cooperative Agreement.
Second. All right, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I see some lights on over here to my right. Vice Mayor?
Just ready to vote, ma'am. Sorry about that. Yeah.
All right,
I do have discussion. I just want to say, I do think that we have a lot of need for infrastructure in Ward 4. I think everybody's aware of that. We have extreme congestion. I know that there's widening happening on the 395. I know that there's going to be widening on North Virginia, but we need to really look for ways to bring more infrastructure and access to the North Valleys in general. So I just want to ask for support from the RTC. I'm going to support this, but in the future, I hope to see more focus in the North Valleys community. We currently have 2 access points to get 40,000 people from the North Valleys into the rest of Reno. So just hoping to see more of that, in future plans, and also hopefully someday more public transportation as well. So thank you.
All right. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right, good job, Khalil. And now we're going to head back to C1, Madam Clerk, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Item
Okay.
C1.
All right, C1, any public comment?
No public comment and no correspondence was received.
Oh, yes, so we will now open up the public hearing. No public comment and no correspondence was received. No, it's not? Oh, sorry. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm ahead of myself. Okay, Vicki, go ahead, take
morning,
it
Madam
away.
Mayor.
Or Miss Van Buren.
And council members, Vicki Van Buren, Director of Finance, for the record. I have just a very brief update for you today on the general fund. This aligns with your strategic plan through fiscal sustainability. Today, I just want to talk about where we are in the current year. So this would be July through January, the 7 months in this fiscal year. And then just give you a brief outline of what you're to expect next week for the budget workshop that we're going to have on March 4th. So fiscal year 26, this is the current fiscal year. Again, this is 7 months worth of information that we have so far for this year. Revenues and expenditures are tracking in line as discussed last month. There's really nothing really to highlight here that's much different. Property tax is still trending about 2% above budget. Right now it's at 1.8% above budget. Consolidated taxes are trending 5% above budget, and that's with the December distribution. Then franchise fees are tracking 13% below budget for the reasons that we've talked about before, usage, weather, and that as such. The slightly higher revenues from property tax and consolidated taxes are covering the shortfall in franchise fee revenue at this time. This is in line with what you saw last month. And then salary and benefits are trending 4% below budget. Supplies are trending 8% below budget. Again, this is the exact same information as last month. It's still trending exactly the same. Savings are trending higher right now due to the number of positions that have been vacant. Many of those are public safety positions, and they've either started the academy with police or they will be starting with fire. So we will see those rates decline a little bit. So they are a little high right now, but really no different from the information that was presented in January. C-tax, just to give you an idea of what consolidated tax looks like. Again, this is so critical because as the highest revenue source in the general fund, we have the December allocation. December is the highest month of the year given holiday shopping and such. That we did receive this week. You can see overall, we're still trending 5% above budget, as I mentioned. Again, we're only halfway through the year with this data point. We still have, 6 more data points to close out this year. Right now, it's on track with the way we're developing the budget for next fiscal year, for fiscal year 27. So really nothing to highlight here as well. We're just on track. So next week is going to be a budget workshop. It's going to be held on March 4th. It's going to have a budget overview that presents all the funds and more detailed reviews of the general fund, the special revenue funds, enterprise funds, and the internal service funds, so all of those. And then we're going to have discussions that will also include a review of the fee schedule and presentations from departments on the proposed capital improvement projects for next fiscal year, for fiscal year 27. So your role as council in the budget workshop is to guide decision-making and provide transparency by reviewing the proposed revenues and expenditures, asking questions of me, of staff, identifying funding priorities, and providing the strategic policy direction so that we can shape the city's financial plan for you based on that. Following the budget workshop next week, we'll have many other opportunities after that. So there'll be financial updates on March 25th, as you see on the slide, April's 22nd. Then on May 6th, we're going to have a whole nother budget overview again, and then budget adoption on May 20th. So in between now and budget adoption, clearly changes can be made, and we're going to be talking a lot of budget during this time. So just wanted to give you a preview of what that looks like and how you'll know what's rolling out and when. So that concludes my presentation. This is a discussion-only item, so it does not require a motion, but I'm glad to answer questions.
Or a public hearing.
Okay, all right. I'm going to start with you, Brandy. You have anything?
No, I'm well prepared for this workshop, and I'm looking forward to our discussion on how we're going to move forward this year.
All right, good. I don't see any green lights. No? Over here, Councilman Reese.
Ever so briefly, Vicki, I just want to say thank you for the pre-preparation. It's really been helpful to have the frequent meetings with you, so I feel very prepared, as Ms. Anderson said. I know that this was on the agenda, and you're coming up to update us all the time, but we're talking at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. So I thank you for that kind of overemphasis of it, because I think it's very important.
Thank you.
Thanks. I had a question on slide 4. If you could go back to that. So this is the summary of how things are trending. And I was wondering, you said franchise fees 13% below budget. And I was wondering if you've calculated the I don't want to say, the change that we voted on last meeting where we were going to up the franchise fee to 14%. Have you calculated how much that would bring in as compared to this trend here?
Thank you for the question. No, that's actually not included here. The budget hasn't been amended to include that with the next augmentation.
Right, but I'm just saying, have you calculated, is it a $4.5 million?
Be around $1.2 million. Right now, we're trending $4.5 million down, so that would be.
Help offset.
It would help offset
But not
some.
fully offset.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And then on that, just so the council knows, I had sent an email to Jackie. I have been reconsidering that item, and the reason is since we voted, I got a lot of input, or some input, I wouldn't say a lot, but some input, that adding the CPI is sort of percentages on percentages, and rather than have us reconsider it, Jackie recommended that we discuss it during the budget workshop, and that we can set the number, despite us voting. The first outing was just going to be going to 14% anyway. The CPI would come in next time. So she said, rather than reconsidering the whole item, that the council has the ability to set the number each time in our fees. And I talked to Jonathan as well. Would our vote somehow conflict with our ability to set the budget each time? And he said no. So that is why I did not pursue it. I just wanted to tell you that, I'm supportive, and it's a hard decision to increase any fee. But apparently the CPI would have really, ramped up in a way that people felt was not sustainable. So I heard them. and I wanted to have the conversation with council, so I'm having it right now, so that you know on next Wednesday, which I'll be participating on Zoom, you'll know what I'm talking about. Once we get to fees, I assume we'll cover fees. And then the other question I had is, will we also be, I didn't see in your list, I think it was a previous page, where we would be covering the RDA, the redevelopment agency, or is that in a separate item, or?
Redevelopment will be discussed with the redevelopment agency, yes, and that will be on the 4th as well, and it will be a separate presentation on that
But
same
same day?
Yes, same
Okay.
day.
But you're not giving us that report here, right?
No, this is just the citywide, but redevelopment will come on same day of the
Okay, now
workshop.
Vicki, can you be, you are our budget, you are our CFO for the whole city, including redevelopment, I assume. Will you help us set the stage for that conversation too, in terms of cash flow and opening balances and those kind of things?
Ashley Turney is actually leading the
Right, I have spoken
discussion
to
on
her,
that,
but
yes.
I'm just looking for apples to apples, so it's presented in a similar way, so we know what the opening fund balance is and all those things.
I will
Okay.
circle up with Ashley. and
That'd
we'll-
be great, thank you.
Okay, Councilwoman Ebert? No? Okay.
No, and I just wanted to appreciate Councilmember Dewar for bringing up the CPI increase on the franchise fee for
Well,
waste management.
And if
Thank
I
you.
may, Madam Mayor.
Yeah.
The reason I heard my colleagues. I mean, 3 of you did not vote for that. That's troublesome to me. I don't think that on financial matters, we should be having like 4-3 votes and stuff. And that's why I wanted to consider it, because you seemed worried about the CPI. Miguel seemed worried about the CPI. The mayor was also concerned. And so I thought, well, I'd rather have peace and harmony and do something we can all support than have division. I mean, this is truly what was driving me. Immediately after the meeting, I talked to Jackie. It wasn't that people sent in letters. They did send in letters, but I first talked to Jackie and I talked to the mayor and I said, I'm uncomfortable. I don't like this kind of result when we're talking about the budget, and that's why I wanted to revisit it. So, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Councilwoman Ebert, your light's on.
So, yeah, I was just,
Oh, okay. You're just seconding? Okay.
I was just responding to her. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Great
you.
job. We'll see you soon.
Next week.
Okay. Okay. Madam Clerk.
All right, moving on to item C2. This is also a presentation.
Okay. This is always a good one, workers' comp. I know it's not sexy, but it's really, really relevant. So, okay, the floor is yours. Nice to see you.
you.
You're going to do great.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, good morning, Mayor and council members. I'm Adria White, and I'm the risk manager here, and I am here to talk to you guys and provide you an update on the City of Reno's workers' comp program for fiscal year 25. So this aligns with our strategic plan of fiscal sustainability and governance and organizational effectiveness. So what is workers' comp? So according to the Division of Industrial Relations definition, workers' comp is a no-fault insurance program which provides benefits to employees who are injured on the job and protection to employers who have provided coverage at the time of that injury. So how does workers' comp work? So when an employee is injured on the job, they're required to fill out state-required forms, give those to the risk management department here at the city, and then those are sent to the third-party administrator for the city for review. And then a claim can either be accepted, denied, or denied pending further medical. Now, denied pending further medical means that they didn't receive all of the medical documentation at the time, within the time frame that they needed to make the claim determination. So it's essentially a pending status until they get all of that medical information and they can make a final decision. So what governs workers' comp? So here in Nevada, we are an exclusive remedy state, and so all of the benefits are set forth in statute. An exclusive remedy means employees give up the right to sue for injuries obtained on the job in exchange for guaranteed prompt payments for those injuries. And here are the NRSs that govern our workers' comp here in Nevada. And then we also have some city policy as well. So what about insurance coverage? So NRS does state that self-insured employers have to carry an excess insurance coverage of up to at least $2.5 million. So the city is a self-insured program, and our workers' comp coverage is a $5 million coverage. So we are responsible for anything up to that $5 million mark, and then it goes over to the excess coverage. So what is covered under workers' compensation? So we have medical treatment. So for example, an employee slips and falls, goes to the doctor. That initial treatment and anything thereafter while the claim is open is going to be covered under the claim. Lost time compensation. So for example, if we have an employee that falls, breaks their arm, they have to have surgery, they're going to be out for 2 weeks, they're unable to work during that time. There is a calculation of average monthly wage that is done, and an employee is given 66 2/3% of their salary for those days that they are certified off of work. Permanent partial disability. So for an example of this, say an employee jams their finger in a door frame. The doctor says they can return to full duty. They're cleared medically, but maybe their finger slants just slightly to the right. They can be sent for this disability rating, and the doctor will rate them, give them a certain percentage, and then they are given a lump sum based on that percentage. Permanent total disability. So this is when an employee actually can no longer perform the functions of their job. So an example of this, say an employee is diagnosed with PTSD, the treating physician says they can no longer return to their pre-injury position because it triggers, those memories, things along those lines. Then they can no longer, unfortunately, work here at the city or in that position. So they are granted this or able to apply for this permanent total disability benefit, which is a monthly sum that they get for the rest of their life. Along those same lines, vocational rehabilitation, this is something that they can choose instead of the permanent total disability. So going back to that PTSD example, say that employee has always wanted to be a welder, and they can now say, I want to be trained to be a welder. Vocational rehabilitation will take them through the program, train them, and also help them with job placement. We have death benefits for dependents. So unfortunately, if we have an employee who does pass away under the course and scope of their employment, there are death benefits that will go to their dependents, and that is a coverage for a lifetime as well. And then other claim-related expenses, those can be things like if an employee slips and falls, hurts their back, they need to see a spine specialist, maybe the only one available is in Utah, we're covering those travel expenses for those employees to go there. So what exactly is our FY25 citywide workers' compensation report? So risk management creates this annually, and we distribute it to directors. This analyzes the trends in our workplace injuries and offers some insights on those injuries. And then just keeping in mind, this report is FY25, so it's July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025. So going into some highlights from the report itself. So our reported injuries, you'll see here we have claims, incident onlys, and then total reported injuries. A claim is when an employee actually has gone to the doctor and they are getting treatment for that injury. An incident only is when they are essentially putting the city on notice that they received an injury and they may be going to the doctor. They do have 90 days to seek medical attention. So an example, say a paper cut, I'm going to fill out the form, say I hurt myself, maybe that paper cut gets infected, I'm going to go to the doctor, and I have 90 days to do that. And then that total reported injury is the total of the claims and the incident onlys together. So you'll see from FY24 to 25, we have had increases in all of those categories. So 14% in the claims, 19% in those incident onlys, and then 15% overall increase. So our top 3 departments for that FY25 year are police, fire, and maintenance and operations. And these are pretty standard across the nation just due to the high risk of these positions that these employees are in. Again, the reported injuries is the total of those claims. So those employees went to the doctor, and then those incident only. So they're just kind of putting everyone on notice.
So our top 3 leading cause, type, and body part for all those injuries. So our leading cause, we have absorption, ingestion, inhalation. So for an example, a firefighter, breathes in smoke, that's gonna fall into that category. Mental stress, lifting, pushing, and pulling. Our injury types, brain strain, contusion, and mental stress. Our body part, lungs, mental stress, and hands. So body part and injury cause are going hand in hand together. And just a note from FY24 to FY25, mental stress has moved up in the categories, which we were anticipating based on legislation. So our overall claim costs, you can see the difference here between FY24 and 25. So our new claims, that is just the claim for that period. So July 1st through June 30th. So that is the cost just for that period. Ongoing claims are any claims that are continuing treatments going into the new period. So from FY24 to FY25, those would be rolling into that ongoing claim. And then our reserves are, if we had to pay every single claim today, this is what it would cost us. So again, this is consistent with our increases in our injury rates, and so our increase in the claim cost is going up as well. So some key factors we have influencing our claim liability. So injury occurrence, so just a larger workforce, rising medical costs, which we see that nationwide, not only in our workers' comp, but as well as our personal benefits as well. Cost of living increases, and that's just the 2.3% that we get roughly every year. And then also legislative impacts. There is also a 5% increase for those employees that are receiving the death benefits or the permanent total disability benefits. And then we have legislative impacts that we see usually every legislative session. And I know this is kind of a small slide, but these are some of the legislative impacts that we've seen since the 2017 session. So you can see that we do have a good amount that comes up every year or every biannual year for those legislative impacts. And then some of our mitigation recommendations, we are prioritizing wellness initiatives to focus on mental health and stress, as we've seen that just continue to rise over the past couple years. Enhanced training for our employees and our supervisors for early detection for that mental health. And then just emphasizing ongoing training in workplace safety. So looking for those hazards, making sure we're aware of those, and then also correcting those hazards.
Okay.
And that is all I have
I
for
think you did a phenomenal job. How do you think? Do you think you did well?
Okay, yeah.
I think you did fantastic.
Thank you.
Were you nervous?
I was.
No, you could not tell at all. I thought you did phenomenal. First of all, I'm going to send it over to Councilwoman Dewar.
Oh, sure. Thank you.
And then
That
you're
was a
gonna
great
comment.
presentation. The one statistic that I might have missed was for the number number filed, but number approved. Did you show a statistic on that? Like what percent of workers' claim requests are approved?
I don't have that in the presentation, but it is in the report that was connected to the staff report.
So you don't have anything off the top of your head of?
If you give me.
The reason I'm asking, just so you know, is that historically, since I've been here, in the beginning, our third-party administrator denied virtually every claim for workers' comp, which is very stressful to the people that know they were injured on the job, experienced the injury. I mean, it adds to their mental stress that you're highlighting that it's just denied, and they had to appeal. And both the mayor and I got involved. I spent a lot of time with our previous CFOs on the issue of workers' comp, what we were budgeting, what was getting approved, how are our employees doing. It was a big issue with our labor groups, which is that they were getting so hassled, to the point that they're like, all right, we'll just drop it, which seemed to be the goal. So do you have any feelings about that? And I do have a second question, which is, once it is approved, you mentioned a number. Do we have insurance for this, or are we completely self-insured? How does that work?
So for your first question, On page 9 of the report,
Yeah.
just so you have the number, it does say the percentage of denied claims, and we have 1 out of every 10 in FY '25 specifically, so it's about 9.7%.
Well, this is much better. And did they have to go to appeals to get there? Or, I mean, do you know what are they still denying most things right off the immediately?
So we did switch our third-party
Right.
administrator 4 years ago now.
Exactly.
And that has helped with that situation. And we do work very closely with the labor groups and our partners with all of the claims. So I think we're on a much better page with
Track.
everyone. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And then as far as, do we have any external insurance that helps us cover this, or is this all on the city's dime?
We do have an excess insurance coverage. We are up to $5 million. So we are self-insured up to $5 million.
That's per case or total? How's this work?
Per claim.
Per claim?
Yes.
So we have to handle the first 5 million of each claim, and after that, insurance would kick in?
Correct.
Okay. And then you mentioned something about
Okay.
legislative impacts. I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah, so, sorry, let me go back to that one now.
I didn't know what is a legislative impact. Do you mean they adopted something that changed what we do?
Yeah, so changing in statutes, like, so for example, AB 410, which was in the 2023 session, that instead of having a single event for stress to point to that, it changed that statute to say cumulative events.
Oh, that's interesting.
So those types of legislative impacts. So
Okay.
it's changing the
The
wording
ones that
in the
they never,
statutes.
they never inform us of, those ones?
But I mean, that makes sense. It would be hard to tie a mental
Oh, I should say never.
situation to one incident.
Often.
Maybe it's like somebody died, and then your dog died, and then something happened at work, and by the
Yeah.
time you're done,
Okay.
you're full of
Councilwoman,
stress,
I'm
right?
I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
cut you off.
No, that's fine.
Okay. Councilwoman Taylor, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the presentation, Adria. This is really important. My question is about our liability, our future liability looking forward. If I look at, ongoing claims in '25 of about $10 million, and that's a 15% increase, and it looks like there's a trend to keep going up. Your last slide talked a little bit about the mitigation recommendations. So can you talk a little bit more specifically on what we are doing to try and prevent some of these things within the organization? And is there anything that you need from us to help implement that? And then what would be the follow-up measures? How are we going to look at these mitigations and how effective they are moving forward as a data point, I guess?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So one example is we are really trying to emphasize early reporting right now. And that's not just for injuries themselves, but for example, a near miss. So if someone just trips on the carpet, or we'll say a cord, but they don't hurt themselves, but we see that as like a consistent thing, that early reporting can help us come out and maybe get rid of that cord shouldn't be there, or, we see a constant place where people are getting injured, or a certain type of injury, someone's pulling something and they're, our 20 shoulder claims, right? So that early reporting helps us come out, look at those types of things, do assessments and help with that mitigation strategy. And then the training, we deploy trainings online, so employees always have access, and we have hundreds of different training programs that we can deploy to employees, and then we are able to track the employees that take them, and then also follow up and see if there's any, in-person trainings they want, things like that. So that's kind of what we're emphasizing right now.
Yeah, and I think I would be super supportive of anything that we could do even before the reporting process. So prevention is key.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Questions? No? Okay. I just want to say, I am so glad that you are putting such an emphasis on mental health. I think it's so long overdue across the country anyway, just not here, but it shows me that you're really paying attention to it, and it's something that I just don't think we ever put enough resources in, something we don't even talk about. The stigma is very real, so I want to commend you guys for really saying this is important. And by doing that, we'll have a much healthier organization. And then we also help sort of debunk the stigma that it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, what you're doing. All of us in some capacity can take better care of our mental health, but our employers have to give us those opportunities as well. So I just want to say thank you to you guys for really recognizing that.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? All right. And by the way, in my next life, I want to come back with your hair. So thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, bye, you guys. Do I have to, it's just presentation only, correct? Okay, awesome. Okay, Madam Clerk, what's up next?
This is item C3.
For the record, item
C3.
3C3. Okay. Travis. Yay, it's Travis. Okay, this is very cool. Travis is going to get into the meat and potatoes of the arch.
That's what we're going to try to accomplish.
Okay, love it.
For the record, my name is Travis True. I'm Director of Maintenance and Operations. Sorry, where's my little pointer? There we go. Really today we're just trying to provide this body with some information regarding the arch in advance of the RDA and CIP discussions you'll be having next month. So I also know that there's been a lot of questions by members of this board to just where are we with the arch? What's been going on? I see a light's out. Why is it out again? That kind of thing. So I'm hoping to get into that a little bit and hopefully help you all out with a better understanding of what challenges we have. This aligns with our strategic plan in public safety and infrastructure. Providing just a little bit of background, and I'm going to talk about, we're on version 3 of our arch right now. And one of the reasons why I wanted to kind of give a little history as to where we're at now is because I think it's important to understand that our arch that we have is not a historic landmark. It's an icon. It's something that everybody recognizes. We see it in TV, we see it in movies, but it is not a historic landmark. So we're not held to the same restrictions that you would see normally with that designation. The original arch was actually built in 1926, but it was used for celebration of the Nevada Transcontinental Highway. And it was then in 1929, Reno adopted the slogan of Reno, biggest little city in the world. And as you can see in these photos, it's beautiful lettering on it, and you can still see the upper 2 photos, the torches on it. Next iteration was removal of the torches. Funny story about the slogan. After it was adopted, a citizen group came out complaining they didn't like the slogan. It was removed, and it just said Reno for a while. Then another group came back out saying, we want the slogan back. Slogan was put back. So again, a lot of changes occur with this arch. In 1963, the version 2 was erected. This is honestly my favorite arch. I think it's just 1960s cool, very, very neat. Not a lot to be said about this. It was, when it was removed, we later donated it to Willits, and they still have it at this point. I think the slogan said something about gateway to the Redwoods or something to that effect. And then in 1987, what we know as our current arch was constructed. In about 2009, there was changes to remove, really to try to start updating a little bit, and all the old incandescent bulbs that were within the arch were removed, and LED bulbs were installed. This is where we're pretty much at today. A few years ago, I think it was 2017, 2018, the legs of the arch were, really the sheet metal on the arch were updated to a silver instead of the gold, and we really became, I think, a little more proactive in trying to use the arch for events specifically, where we started changing out the bulbs to different colors to promote special events over over these different events that would come to us. Average maintenance is relatively low on the arch. We're spending about $20,000 a year to maintain it, and that's, of course, with no catastrophes or anything that happens to it. A lot of that, the average maintenance is just cleaning, repairing damaged sheet metal when that comes up, performing lighting inspections. We have the 2,076 individual bulbs on that That's not including the neon Reno that's there. Then it's also taking care of minor electrical and bulb socket replacements as necessary. Average annual repairs we saw recently in December, where we had the high winds. It caused a sheet metal to be ripped off from the underside of the arch. That's about a $15,000 repair. That luckily only comes up every few years, so nothing catastrophic there. For everybody's knowledge, this is still in process. Unfortunately, the sheet metal was damaged to a point where it had to be refabricated. We're still looking at a few more weeks before it'll be installed. With the City of Reno currently contracts out with the ESCO to help the maintenance team be able to maintain the arch. We're spending about $1,500 a month, and they, along with our staff, are inspecting the lettering, repairing lettering. Reno Star tends to be a problem because it's an old motor system that's constantly running, and that goes out. And then also repairing the electrical wiring and other minor repairs. One of the things that I did want to bring to everybody's attention is that with the special events that we put on that I was talking about earlier, Reno right now charges most of these promoters over $4,000 to change the color of the arch. It's not an easy process. Every single one of those little bulbs has to be unscrewed, new ones put in, and then at the end of the event, those ones removed, new ones put back in again.
You mean they don't magically appear?
They don't magically
I
just
feel like they
change.
magically appear, Travis.
What we're hoping for is something that is more magical, though, and something along the lines of an LED system that would allow a remote control to change those lights, hopefully eliminating that $4,000 cost every time we do one of these events. One of the problems we see, again, on the maintenance side is as we remove a bulb, change a bulb, remove a bulb, keep doing this back and forth, we're seeing damage to the outlets. It's just wear and tear. The electrical wiring gets brittle because of the changing. So it's, in a nutshell, the arch it's not super problematic to maintain. It has some shortcomings. The neon lettering in the Reno has been very problematic over time. It's been something that our contractor and our staff have been unable to completely repair. So we still will see problems during high rain events where it shorts out, and when it dries up again, then it comes back on magically. Then we still have the expense of changing out bulbs. So that is really
it.
the presentation. No actions needed by this body. I just wanted to kind of fill you all in on what's going on.
Well, Travis, I think you did a fantastic job. I always thought that we should give those bulbs, like when we did the pink ones, give the bulbs to the organization that they can sell and raise money for breast cancer or whatever, childhood cancer or things like that, other cities, and they put them in like a cute memento. It's just a really good idea to sort of signify the event, and it's special when you have a piece of your city's, arch.
If I may speak on that real fast.
Yes,
because I think that's
please.
an important point.
Please.
The lighting itself, we reuse the bulbs. So some events, we'll have a couple events that both use blue, for instance. I think it's for our peace officers use blue, and then also for Turn the Arch Blue for the UNR events. We'll reuse those bulbs. We have, I think, pink bulbs, red bulbs.
Yeah, so
and
you do
on.
recycle them.
We do recycle them. The thing about it is when we change colors to something we don't have currently, it's over $4,000 in bulbs to buy those LED bulbs. So I would urge you to not give them away.
Okay, no, you're right. Bad idea. And the other thing is I get a little bit of PTSD when I'm down there and we do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're like, is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? Right? I like seriously, because everyone's like waiting in bated breath. So you're like, oh, please work. I have a little bit of history with this, and I am gonna, and this is nothing against you.
Fair.
We went through something very similar when we were doing the refresh of the arch. And this was the very thing that I brought up, that the LED is so important so that we can actually do it digitized and through technology. And that was my biggest concern, is the ongoing maintenance of those bulbs, changing it for you guys. It's not effective. I mean, we do need to bring it into the future, but I was, I was the bad guy. And this is just, the only reason I'm saying this, so that everyone can realize on this council, that sometimes you need to make the initial investment so that it doesn't trickle. Now here we are, and the contracting and all of that stuff is, I'm sure it's much more expensive than what we had looked at. And, it just became that people didn't want us to spend the money and make an investment, and it's a very iconic piece of our history. It is probably the most iconic. I would be interesting, I bet Rebecca would know, and I could find out the impressions that the arch gets. So it is the most identifiable piece in our city that people, visitors, and community members, and it's a big place of gathering. I think it always should have had the time and attention and the investment that it truly deserves. It represents us, and I hate it when I drive by and I see half of it, like, there's like a few names, you're like, oh, and we make a lot of fun of it. But in a lot of ways, when visitors come here and they want to take a picture under the arch and it's not looking great or whatever that is, I just think it is sort of part of our front-facing perception of what we do. And so I would just say be really careful and thoughtful about. And Travis, you're great at this. You know how to do it. So you're going to know the best way to make this happen. But I just think it should not be piecemealed. We did that before. I was against it, and I was really worked up over it. So now that it's coming back, I'm glad, but I'm disappointed that we're here because it should have been taken care of a long time ago. But anyway, okay. I'm going to hand it over to Councilwoman Dewar.
Yeah. Thanks for the attention to the issue. It is iconic and representative at the same time of us. I just wondered, you're bringing it today for information, but is there going to be a subsequent item in the budget, or what's today's timing about?
So the timing, it was really a couple things. I've heard from you guys, different people over the last year or so, 2 years, about just, hey, what's going on with this? So we knew that was important to follow up with you on. Secondly, RDA is going to be bringing this as one of their items in their CIP proposed lists.
So in the budget next Wednesday,
correct?
we should expect to see a proposal.
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then one other thing, most people here don't know this, but at some point, council was requested to vote on the colors of the arch. And it's not about the bulbs, it's about the paint, and it's about the paint and the silver that you mentioned. And I was on the losing side of that vote, but three of us wanted to retain the colors that it was, which included a lot of red, which is the reason for the red. Well, historically it was red, you showed some pictures. But the reason was that it shows up very well against a blue sky. And when it's blue and silver, it doesn't show up very well as a contrast with a blue sky. It kind of blends in. So if you have to redo the colors, I mean, it was a very close vote, just so everybody knows, and we had community input and everything, but you know how those UNR students are. When they want something, they're going to send in thousands of votes. And they wanted the arch to represent silver and blue, which I totally understood. It's just from an artistic point of view or photographic point of view, it just doesn't show up as well. So I'm hoping in the future, if there has to be a conversation, which I won't be participating, I won't be here, that we reconsider, I love silver and blue. I'm a graduate of the university, undergrad, all of it. But it also could be helped by some contrasting color that would make it stand out even more, from my perspective. So I just want to share that. If it comes down to it, if we end up polling the community again, we'll see. Okay, thanks.
All right, Councilwoman Ebert?
Yeah, just.
Sorry, your light's on.
Yeah, no. Just happy to have some maintenance on it and improvements, and anything we do to downtown, I'm excited to support. So it was all. Thank you.
Travis, go ahead. I see a green light coming over here.
Yeah,
go
thanks
ahead,
so
Vice
much,
Mayor.
Mayor. I didn't want to cut you off.
No, I didn't know if you were going yes or no.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I appreciate the history lesson and everything that you showed. Obviously, the pictures are worth more than 1,000 words, and so it really depicts where our history's from. I'm wondering if you can talk about, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think on your third slide, the bottom picture, that arch is still erected, right, in town, or am I mistaken?
No, you're not incorrect. This one here, this was moved to
Yes.
Lakeside over by the museum.
Yeah, and I think most folks obviously know the iconic version, the one on Virginia Street, and that's the one that's most photographed. But for those that may not be aware, obviously on near Lake and Mill Street, that intersection, that arch is still erected over there for those who may want to see it and see that piece of our history still up. So I just wanted to call attention to that. And again, thank you all for your overview of what's happening. Looking forward to the discussion tomorrow, next week, on the CIP for this.
And a
Thanks.
little bit of history, you may not know this. So the arch that came after this is actually now in a small city in California, and they took it apart and obviously made it, tailored to their city, but it kind of went to good use, so not kind of. I think it did. Of course, I would have loved to have held on this one. This one is my most favorite, and if you go into my office, you see the R. And a lot of people don't know that the R is a throwback from back in the day. And so, and all those little pins with the R pins, that's what they're from. You guys probably knew that. But this arch ended up in a small city in California, and they tailored it to their city. So it did get recycled. So very cool. Travis, just a couple questions. I have heard, tell me, are we going to go out to RFP, or are you already just, how does that work? Because I know Yesco, you mentioned them. Are they doing it? Give me a little background.
On the ESCO contract? Yeah, so their contract actually is up again for renewal in July.
Okay. Can
we
I
are going to
can I
RFP
ask
on
you,
that.
is a bond required when someone does our, when they do this type of signage because it's expensive? Give me a little background about that.
Frank, do you want to speak on that?
Frank Avera, Maintenance Operations.
Hey, Frank, good job. I get such nice comments about both of you.
Oh, yeah.
But I get a lot about you.
I do, yeah. So it requires a certain license to work on the arch. And so
Is
not
that a
everybody-
bond where you have to, it costs money?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
So it's not every sign company can work on the arch.
Yeah, and just because I know Yesco's worked on it for many, many years, and I know we're going to go out to contract, and I know that possibly, it's intricate. They've worked on it for many, many years. And so it's pretty intricate.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of, I've heard stories about what's inside.
It's complex, yeah.
We could start some fun rumors of what's inside the arch. What do you guys think? Might be creepy.
So if I can add something.
Might be some money in there.
Might be something we don't want to see. So if I can add real quick, I get a lot of calls over the years from middle schools and nonprofits that can't afford the $4,000
Yes.
to change the arch and stuff.
Yes.
And so there's a bit of accessibility issue.
Yeah, and it leaves the community very negative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought it'd be really fun to get kids and everything more downtown, so.
I love it. I love it, Frank. I just wanted to understand that process of how we select someone, because a lot of our smaller sign companies always say that they feel that they haven't been included. And so I wanted to kind of just let them know, what our process is and how that works and how we can work with smaller sign companies so we can spread the love. But I also know, like I said, it's very, that arch is pretty intricate.
So when we advertise, we pick up the phone, I call people, this is gonna come out for an RFP and stuff, let everybody know. And last time we got only one contractor, so.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Frank. Really appreciate it.
And
Go
Madam
ahead.
Mayor, before the folks leave, I just want to be clear on the process. You acted as if we're moving forward, but this is something that we have to consider amongst all priorities in the RDA budget for RDA 1, right? And so we haven't decided to move forward, or we haven't decided if we can afford to move forward this year. It's obviously urgent. We've talked about it for a long time, but I just wanted to be clear. We have to adopt a budget for RDA that would include this project, right?
Travis Trullo, Director of Maintenance Operations. That is correct. This
Okay.
is not a commitment by this body right now to move forward with anything. Really, it's just providing the
update.
information, an update.
Yeah,
Exactly.
appreciate it. Okay, thanks.
Let's just say it does get approved. Travis, when would you start and when would it be finished?
Well, I am delighted to say that I would probably not be managing the project.
Yeah.
It would be coming through RDA, and they have a project manager who's very competent, Dan Tresley, and I believe he would be taking the lead on that. I can't really answer timeframe questions right now. I'm not super,
Ms. Turney probably knows. I can't see her over there. What are you thinking? What's the time frame? Or you can just yell it to me and I'll put it on the record. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. Ashley Turney, Assistant City Manager for the record. Madam Mayor, as Travis mentioned, it is listed as one of the many options for this body to review next week on your CIP plan. In theory, if you were to move that up in the list and vote to move forward, those funds are available starting July 1. And based off of importance from this council and how you rank those things, we would move forward with putting out that bid pretty quickly.
But do you know how long it would take?
Yeah, do you know how long?
So we have an estimation, we've learned we could probably get it turned around within 4 to 6 months. So it's something that we could move forward pretty quickly if the body decides to move it up in the list. As I mentioned, there are a lot of needs, so that will be going to the RAB on Monday and then coming to you next Wednesday to discuss.
Okay. And do you have to close off the street and stuff like that? Like, what does that
Yes.
entail? So, because I don't think it's just that easy, like we just get to work and you're good to go.
Correct, yes. So it would be pretty significant. We would have to shut down the road for some period of time. We would need to redo a lot of the sidewalk as well from the electrical. Much of the electrical that goes to the arch actually runs halfway up Harrah's from a property line standpoint, so there'd be some sidewalk replacement involved. And we would work closely with Public Works and RTC for the micromobility project to make sure that we're working in tandem around that timeline if you choose to go this route.
Okay, got it. And cost?
We have an estimate right now, about $1.5 million is what we anticipate.
Whoa. Whoa.
And as a reminder, that is not a replacement for the arch. This is just a modernization of the lighting components. Does not include a reskin, does not include movement, change any of the exterior. It is purely just the modernization of the light functionality to replace 2 LED lights that we could change with an app, and then reevaluating that neon to decide if we go to faux neon, and then have one of our local artists do something with the existing neon.
Wow. Well, we should pull up those past documents because I think it was half of that when we looked at it.
Yes, we've seen massive increases in that time period.
Yeah,
and
I mean, I
post-COVID.
know things are much more expensive and all of that. I'm just saying, like, again, it speaks to, don't let it drip, 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 invest in it, and then you're not
Things are not getting any
shocked.
cheaper.
Okay.
Could you
Yeah.
explain about the neon? I didn't follow that part with the electrical.
So as Director Truehill mentioned, whenever we get so much as a due, the neon shorts out. There is no known solve for that. We've looked at neon artists, collectors, using Yesco as our contractor. No one has been able to figure out how to fix it, and that's just due to the nature of neon.
Could they put the picture back up? Just to tell us which part is the neon?
Reno.
The Reno word.
Yeah, so it's the Reno part you can see here on the top left-hand side of the pink neon. When we get a little bit of moisture in the air, you'll drive by and it will say retro. And so Scooby-Doo is sad.
Retro.
And so there is no known fix for that. Their technology has come quite a ways since we first looked at this, and there's some really incredible faux neon that's an opportunity for lighting.
Different.
And we would have the ability to change that lighting as well as the LED underlights as well. And then we would propose taking that original neon and turning it into something, a cool art project if we could find. I'm sure Will would have
And
some
when you
interest.
present this, if you do, because I don't know where it is in any number,
Yeah.
can we separate out the light bulb part of the project from the neon part? It may be possible to do one without fixing the whole thing. I mean, in other words, break it into components that are manageable instead of this $1.5 million.
Yeah, we can ask, if that's the direction of the body, we can look at that. And just as the reminder, there is no known fix for when it shorts out. But we can look
No,
into
but I
that.
mean versus, it's just going to short out from time to time, but versus replacing the whole, making the neon decision right now as part of the LED decision, it may be that we have to break it into 2 pieces.
Yep, we'll see if we can get some updated quotes going into that, or once the body gives some direction.
Yeah. And I think, we don't talk about it a lot. We talk about the appearance of it, the aesthetics, and actually, with a lot of people that cross there and drive through there, the infrastructure and the whole structure of that arch is really important to keep in good working order so that you don't have pieces that are flying off and those kinds of things. We rarely talk about that. Again, everyone wants to see it shiny, and we love that, but there's another component, which is the safety component too. But I think you guys have done a phenomenal job because I know that it's been outdated for so long and you've just made it work. Curious, how long, Travis, does it take to, I'm curious, how long does it take for someone from your department to change those bulbs? That should be a trivia question.
Travis True, Director of Maintenance Operations. What I've seen, our department is not actually doing that. We don't have the ability just to tie up people to do it.
Yeah.
We have the bucket trucks and equipment, but we found out that it's more cost effective to hire that out. So that's part of work we'll hire out.
Yeah.
Typically, it's Yesco, and it's taking a good part of a day, changing one out.
You think 8 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, thanks so much. Okay, any other questions for Travis? No? All right, we are not taking any action, but we really appreciate the presentation. Good job. Exciting. Okay, good job, Frank. Okay.
All right, Madam Mayor, moving
Clerk.
on to item C5, Charlie 5.
Perfect.
Madam Mayor, I had a briefing on this, as I think we all did. I'm not sure we need a presentation unless my colleagues disagree.
Okay, I'm fine with that. Anything? Okay. Can I get a motion?
Move to approve.
Thank you. I have a motion. I have a
Second.
second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay. Madam Clerk.
Are we doing a break or are we just?
No, we're going to keep moving on. We're not going to take a break. If you want to get up and take a break, please do so. Just pay attention. I don't want to lose quorum, but we're not going to stop today. Okay.
All right, Madam Mayor, moving on to item F1, in ordinance adoption to be read by the city attorney.
Okay, Mr. Carl Hall, take it away.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Ordinance adoption, ordinance number 6735, ordinance to amend Title 5, Chapter 5.90, Article 2 of the Reno Municipal Code entitled Collection and Transportation of Solid Waste and Recyclable Materials, repealing Section 5.90.070 entitled Franchise Fees together with matters which pertain to or are necessarily connected therewith.
I have a motion?
Second.
I have a second. All those in
Question
favor say
or
aye.
comment?
Or,
I just want to make sure
discussion?
everybody knows it's not about the fee, it's about that removal of that section. Okay.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Madam Clerk.
Item G1, which is an appointment or reappointment of 2 individuals to the Truckee Meadows Regional Planning Commission.
Okay. May I have a motion?
Yeah, Madam Mayor. I looked, I don't see Councilmember Ebert unless she's just in the facilities, but I looked at the staff report, but I also checked in past practice, and it seems like this is about appointing a member from the Planning Commission to the Regional Planning Commission. And my understanding is that some of the members of the commission have not yet served. And I think that proposal from the Planning Commission was to, or possible, was to reappoint Mr. Velto, who I think's done a great job.
Okay.
But I also think that we should give
How about
everyone a
Mr.
chance.
Williams?
I don't believe that's the recommendation.
No, I'm saying,
A recommendation.
I'm explaining.
Whatever the recommendation is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, move to approve the
Yeah,
recommendation.
well,
All right.
Second.
please don't interrupt me, I'm still in my time.
Okay, no,
And
no,
I'm-
go ahead. I'm just saying, hold
Okay.
on, Councilwoman.
Yeah.
I asked for what the recommendation was, and I didn't, I wasn't
Oh.
intended to skirt you. I was listening, and then I heard you say, yes, whatever the recommendation is, so that's where I jumped
Oh, no, I'm
ahead.
sorry.
So go ahead, take it
Okay.
away.
I was saying despite the recommendation.
Got it. Oh, I thought you said,
No.
I'll go with the
Yeah.
recommendation. Okay.
So I asked some folks, like, it sounds like there's a seniority thing at play as well. And, who's been there longest, the second longest, and who's already served and who hasn't served. And I'm just going to share my perspective that I think all of our boards, whether it's this board or the NABs or any board that we have, a lot of them are for training. A lot of them have experience component. So anyway, I would support the Christina Del Villar, and I guess she was recommended for a short 3-month appointment or something is what I read. And I would recommend Manny Becerra. And look, the group, I heard some discussion, may not agree with me, but that I just went into seniority and who hasn't served yet. I don't think it's a popularity thing.
Who
so.
hasn't served?
Well, Manny, I talked to my representative who declined to serve again, to be reappointed.
Okay.
And,
And you're on the board?
no, no.
Oh, no.
that-
Okay, I have two
It's
council
Megan.
members that are on the board.
No, no.
Correct?
This is, Megan is the
Oh, I thought-
liaison.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, all I'm saying is my perspective. People don't have to agree with me,
No,
but
totally. All right,
that's
I'm
just
going
where
to
I'm
hand it
coming
over
from.
to Councilman Reese.
Madam Mayor, I'll move to appoint Christina Del Villar to the unexpired term of the prior member who declined to be appointed, and Ms. Tina Goffiantini.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, Madam Clerk.
Item G2, appointment to
Mr.
the
Reese.
Ward 5.
Thank you so much.
Councilman Reese, go ahead.
Madam Mayor, I'll move to appoint Abby Logtog to the body. She was previously an alternate. And then my two alternates will be James Cooper and Veronica Gerhard.
Okay, thank you so much. I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Madam Clerk.
All right, Madam Mayor, if you would like to go into city council comments, we're on item H1.
All right, any comments? All right, we're going to move on.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, go ahead.
may I ask, did you make the appointments to the Regional Planning Commission? Can we please reconsider, since I'm the liaison to the board?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was going to happen. I had to run to the restroom.
Sure. We can reconsider. We did vote, so I
Okay.
don't know if it'll change anything.
Okay.
We had a little bit of discussion.
Okay.
Naomi has some very, very good reasoning.
Okay.
But if you want to, and I think we would have to
Can we take a motion for reconsideration?
Yes.
Well, can we also say what the vote was? It was for Ms. Gioffentini and for Ms. Del Villar.
Okay, for which terms?
Ms. Del Villar was for the unexpired term, which is 3 months, and then Ms. Gioffentini was for a full term.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to ask for reconsideration. Thank
Okay,
you.
go ahead. What do you, counts?
Is that a
A
motion?
motion, I need a second.
Yeah, motion
Okay,
to
I have a
reconsider.
motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
No.
Motion carries. Oh, no, I'm going to give her the floor, and so you
Wait,
can.
I'm sorry, what was that vote?
We're doing a reconsideration.
Everybody voted yes?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Thank you.
So I just, as the council liaison to that board, and with Christina being nominated last time in the council, not supporting her, the Planning Commission's nomination to move her to the Regional Planning Commission last year, I would like to support her appointment to the 3-year position based off of seniority. And again, she had been nominated last year, and the council, for some reason, disregarded the Planning Commission's nomination. So again, based on seniority, I would like to move her forward on the Planning Commission, and Commissioner Becerra for the 3-month term.
Okay, thank you so much. All right. Ms. Ebert has made a motion.
All right,
those
second.
in favor, say aye. All those opposed?
I
Nay.
voted aye. Okay.
Motion carries.
Do you want another motion?
I'm sorry, motion fails. Okay, go ahead.
You want a second
No,
motion for Ms. Tina?
I don't know if we should entertain another motion unless you're willing to give one, Councilwoman Ebert. Do you want to give a different motion?
Well,
The board, the council suggested Tina Gomfiantini. I'm sorry, I'm messing
Yeah.
that word up.
yeah. Okay, I'll make a motion for Commissioner Del Villar for the 3-year term, and I'm so sorry, can you help me pronounce?
Gomfiantini.
Goffiantini for the remainder
It's kind of
of,
actually a long-standing name here in Reno.
yeah, for the remainder of Commissioner Rohrmeyer's term.
All
Okay.
right, I'll second.
So I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Okay, so we're going to go back. I'm going to make a motion for I'll make the motion. So I would like to make a motion for Miss Gomfiantini and, is it Del Villar?
Del Villar.
Del Villar, is that how you pronounce it? Okay.
Gioffentini for the full term
Yes.
and Del Villar for the remaining term.
Yes.
I'll
Okay.
second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Opposed?
Motion carries.
Yeah, I'd
Okay.
like to make comments too. I'm
Go
just
ahead.
extremely disappointed in just kind of not going with the norm of appointing the members with seniority and also not allowing more representation for Ward 4, which remains to be the ward with the most area geographically and the most development coming in. I think it's the area that deserves the most representation, and I'm just disappointed in this board's decision to not provide more representation for that community. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you for the comments. Okay, moving on. Madam Clerk.
All right, Madam Mayor, we're going to open the redevelopment agency.
All right. Okay,
So
my
we're
favorite part of
opening
the day.
The redevelopment agency board
Hi,
for
Brian.
Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. It is
And Rachel,
12:30.
loving the pink. Okay.
Our first item today is roll call.
Okay, yes, please call the roll.
Councilmember Taylor? Dorr?
Here.
Martinez? Absent at this time. Ebert?
Here.
Reese?
Here.
Anderson?
Here.
Sheevy?
Here.
Madam Mayor, you do have a quorum of the redevelopment agency board. Moving on to item A3, which is public comment. I do not have any registered and have not received any correspondence. Item A4 is approval of the agenda.
Move to approve.
I have a motion. Second. I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Motion carries unanimously.
Item A5 is acceptance
Approval
of
of the
minutes.
Move to approve.
I have a motion. Second. I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Motion carries. Okay, we are going to move on to B1. And this is the adoption of the rebrand. I'm hearing really, really good things about this. So I'm super excited to see what it looks like and all the razzle dazzle. Before I do want to recognize how hard you guys worked for Western Lights. Rachel, again, like, hit it out of the park. Poor Ashley knows. I mean, I think Ashley and I have had knockdown, drag-out fights about downtown activation. And I know she's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it done. And I just, again, you knocked it out of the park. I got to see some of the installations. It was fantastic. I was incognito because I was so cold. So I bundled up a ton. But I can't stress how it's becoming such a highlight in the community and bringing people together of all walks of life and all different artists. And so I know Ashley's feeling like a proud mama. Am I right? Right? She is. So thank you. And I would just say any way we can possibly bring in more and more artists and be inclusive and I just think you just put on such an incredible display. I didn't get to see, come on up. I didn't get to see you guys, and maybe you did. I know Kathleen went and Devin, but at the church, which was super exciting. Can you just talk about that? Because I do want people to realize that their effort to really make that space be something special. So maybe you could talk.
Yeah. Madam Clerk, I think we're probably still on public comment.
We are, so we're good.
That's what I thought. Ashley Attorney, Assistant City Manager for the record, and I have Rachel McIntyre, Placemaking Manager, with me who can talk in more detail about Western Lights and what we saw from people, number of artists, and the work that she did. This is truly her brainchild of, she came to me and said, I want to create something in the shoulder season, and we have our downtown action plan that this body adopted that recommended creating a new legacy event in downtown. And so I'm very proud of the work that Rachel's done, because this is her grit that has pulled it off the ground and turned it into something truly magical, and the support of this body, as you have long commented on the importance of activation in downtown, and especially outside of our typical event season. One of the things, as you mentioned, Madam Mayor, is the old movie theater is now known as a project called Reforma. And we're very excited about this project, as it's actually going to be 9 different tenants that will be going into that space. There will be obviously a worship space, but there's also going to be retailers and coffee shops and a restaurant, childcare facilities. And they did a wonderful job, I thought, of really opening up that facility to the community, and they really integrated in as part of Western Lights. They had the Biggest Little Circus was present, renderings of what they're planning on doing with the project. Had Shush Boom serving local beer in the back corner and lots of DJ options for kids. So they're really proving to be an active part of the downtown fabric and want to make sure that they are incorporating in and bringing in a lot of the things that we've been asking for from some of the businesses in our downtown core. So we're excited about that project. And then I'll let Rachel talk more about the work that she's done with Western Lights and our artist count, what we had this year, the expanded footprint, and then you can give them some news about the board and where that's transitioning to.
Okay, awesome. Love it. Did you get rest?
Yes.
I always feel like you don't sleep for a few weeks before and after.
That is very accurate.
Yeah.
I'll start first with just some gratitude to this board. None of this would be possible without your vision, direction, and trust, and then, of course, the financial contribution. So we greatly appreciate being able to get an event and an organization like Western Lights off the ground to benefit the entire community of Reno. And I think that for us as an organization and as a city is my favorite part, is when you look around downtown Reno and you see folks that are truly representative of our entire community. It's a highlight, it's a glow, and so thank you. This event wouldn't have been possible, first and foremost, without your support. We also had tremendous support from the Downtown Reno Partnership in snow removal. Neoma out there, salting the sidewalks for us.
Yes, I was so worried for you.
You should have been. It was very fair
I don't
worry.
think people realize how much you stress.
It was fascinating. We lost effectively 2.5 days of build, just removing snow. And so I also would like to recognize the City of Reno and our street supervisor, specifically Matt Bowe, for all of his support and resource in helping us pull that off. We were shocked that we actually opened on Thursday, but we did. And on Thursday, we had 2 record-breaking snowfall days, and despite that, we still had preliminary numbers. We'll have final numbers next week, but on Thursday, in the middle of a snowstorm, we had just over 5,000 people from our community come out.
Can you believe that?
In the middle of a snowstorm.
In the middle of a snowstorm.
This year, we were really excited to expand. With more time, we had the opportunity to expand our community partnerships. One that we wanted to highlight is we had an informal partnership with UNR. We had 3 departments from the University of Reno, Nevada represented this year. We worked with the art department on projection arts inside of one of our vacant retail storefronts downtown, and we were very grateful for that, and grateful to the property owner who allowed us the use of his space and his power to bring that space to life. We also had UNR Athletics. We did an activation in partnership with the Whitney Peak on the climbing wall. We had UNR cheer, football, and basketball represented. And then last but certainly not least, the planetarium took over the projection mapping dome at West Street Plaza on Thursday. So we're excited about bringing the university more into the downtown core, as this body has said is a priority, and we're excited to continue that work through Western Lights Festival. In addition to that, the support of the small business community in the downtown core was a big priority for us this year, hence the partnership with Reforma, Sierra Tap House, Old Bridge Pub, the Eddy, I'm going to miss a bunch, the Spot, and we're really grateful for their support both in donations of lunches and meals to our volunteer and build crew, and also opening up their spaces in the middle of winter to take a risk on a very cool event. So we are still awaiting final numbers on attendance, but as it shows right now, preliminary, we're looking somewhere around 60,000, trending similar to last year, which we're very excited about. We had over 50 art installations this year. We had 51 to be specific art installations. 65% of those were from local Reno artists. We also represented 3 countries this year, bringing in international art, helping to put Reno as a public art hub on the map. In addition to the physical and visual art that we had 82 live entertainment performances. And that's everything from nonprofit circuses like Biggest Little Circus to bands and DJs and buskers. It was truly a sight to be seen for Reno. So thank you all so much for your support. Western Lights is now establishing as an independent 501c3 as a result of the support that it's received from the community. They have an incredible board that they've assembled. I'll be able to be an amazing volunteer and continue to support. And we're excited. But yeah, the board that they're putting together is phenomenal. They do have open board seats. I would be remiss if I didn't just share that publicly. So if you're interested, stay tuned for more information on that. And we're very excited to work with this this body on what the future of the event looks like for the community throughout the year and expanding into the Midtown District and Brewery District in 2027 as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Who's the executive director?
We are waiting to vote on that. Right now, our project director is Megan Miller. She served as the comms director for Burning Man org for 12 years.
I know Megan very well. She's amazing. I didn't know that.
Yes, so she is also, she has her background in
She's
placemaking and urban
amazing.
development. So she is phenomenal asset. And we have a ton of other folks. We have Ian Xavier is a creative director. He's from the Grand Artique. He also serves on the board. Luca Starmer, who's a professor at UNR in digital production. Maribel Garcia, Miranda Carter, Steve Emmerich, who is just a
amazing.
staple in our community for music and culture.
Oh my
So-
God, I think that is incredible. And Megan actually has spoken a few times at the Conference of Mayors. She's impressive and she's kind and she loves art and she is just a shining star in our community. That's amazing. We would love to do something special for them, so maybe we can talk about having them come to council and talk a little bit about the project and things that they need in the community, because I think a lot of people are seeing something like this for the first time, except if some of us have been to Burning Man. Ashley's been to Burning Man. Devin's been to Burning Man. But I think a lot of people say, it's so great, I could never afford to go out there, it's not accessible, or whatever. I've been working, they said this just feels like it's a piece of Burning Man that they get to experience, though it's not Burning Man, but they feel like, is this what Burning Man's like? And so
it's a core ethos for the organization is really learning to inspire our community and specifically our youth at the intersection of art and technology. And that's, they're on a mission. And to see kids walk up to Hotshot the robot and be like, wow, mommy, that's so cool. And also in their minds to know like you too could create a robot. And that child may have had no other access to that art or that magic or that technology before, and this festival gives them that opportunity. So,
well, I think it's fantastic. Go ahead, Councilman Reese.
Thank you so much. I think you know how very inspired I was by the work that you and all of the people that you've mentioned have done. You especially, though, have carried the torch, and so thank you for that. I was one of those weird people who was there all 3 nights, and I wanted to go on different nights at different times to sort of understand what the different feel was, and certainly the first night, there was an element of magic to it because there had been this snowstorm. It was snowing at various times, and it added to all of the sparkle. It was incredible. But I share with my colleagues a couple of comments. One is I ran into folks who live here in town, lived in Damonte Ranch, and they relayed to me that they had chosen to rent a hotel room downtown for 3 nights. Because they wanted to be present for all of the festival and they wanted to be, didn't want to miss a minute of it. So that tells me that it struck a chord. If people are going to stay downtown, although they live in town, that really is anecdotal, but I think represents the broader buy-in that's happening in the community. And then the second one was I had a conversation with the artist who is from Canada, who had just come from Portland, and Paul, I think, and he did the Venus flytrap, which was lit up. And we had a lot of conversations about his different experience between his time in Portland and his time here, because they had just come from Portland. And first of all, in Portland, it rained the whole time, so at least we had snow and not rain. And he just said, what an incredible community that this is. It's welcomed him, the enthusiasm. He said it was quite well organized. He said artists aren't always real good about like signing the right forms and doing all the things. And he said that you all had helped all these artists to really showcase their art. I was also really encouraged. I don't know all of the musical artists that you had. There were so very many, and there were, I think I counted 5 different stages, different types of music. I went from everything from reggaeton, trap music, bandas music. There was some different kinds of EDM music. So it seemed like it appealed to a very broad cross-section. I saw Josie Rock was there and was doing art and selling art. Jerry Snyder's iconic piece, which was along the river outside of the Reforma, was the stained glass series.
Stunning.
It's stunningly beautiful. I saw someone who commented about the lit up palm tree-esque things. And of course, last year we had a different version of it, but both of those would be like perfect permanent installations. Look, everything about it was just incredible. I will also give great thanks to our RPD partners. Officer Blount was down there, and I'm a big fan, but I got to check in with him and talk to him about, safety and related issues, and it was just, everyone was happy to be down there. There wasn't a lot of mischief going on, and it really was exceptional. I will say one thing for I think there would be a great opportunity at some point in time to do a deep dive on what worked, what didn't, all those kind of things. For my part, I think 10 was maybe a little too early to cut off all the fun. So maybe I'd be looking for it to be later, because it was interesting because the second night I went, I was coming from another event, so I left that event about like 9:30 and then went down there, and by the time I had just gotten excited about seeing all of it, it was over. And so I know there's some moment where you have to cut off all the fun, but it could go a little later. And of course, I'm excited at the opportunity to expand it into Midtown, into the Brewery District, up to the university. It really should be a sort of a maybe a week-long festival that celebrates a lot of that interplay between technology and art, because that's like cutting edge. It's not happening other places. And again, I am so grateful for you, for your leadership. You have taken the kind of things that we kind of had thought bubbles about and actually now gone and done them. So tremendous job. I just couldn't be more excited. I didn't hear the numbers because you may not have them all, but I wouldn't be surprised if we outgrew last year's event. And obviously, numbers don't tell the entire story, but it is one metric. But every night I was down there, it was bigger than the first night, and on social media, it was just very popular. So incredible job. Congratulations.
Thank you. And if this body would like to encourage us to revisit the special event code around what time special events have to end and get it extended till 11 p.m., I know our promoter community would be very happy about that. So you just let us know.
Yes, we have Ms. Turney put it on the agenda.
Thank you so much.
I see your faces all red. Rachel, but honestly, fantastic job. You should really know that. I know Devin does a really good job of appreciating people. I always see that from you. And so I just need you to know that I'm just hearing wonderful, wonderful things throughout the community.
Awesome.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
You did it again.
Thank
And
you to our
I think
RDA
you're getting
team.
tested with the weather and all these things. And you're like, no, I got this. I can do it. So you make it look easy, which
We moved
I
a
know.
lot of snow.
Yeah, I know you did. You did.
So.
But next year, maybe we can put the snow and make like, sculptures or igloos or something with it.
Yeah.
We'll have like that component. If we get snow, we'll turn it into a little component of that, right?
I love that.
I did see where they have these snow plows. I think it's in Europe. And they take this, did you see that? They do blocks and they take it in, and then they also do snowballs.
Oh, that's cool.
And so they line the streets with snowballs.
You
It's
send that to me, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. We can't afford that truck, but we'll be out there. Brandy and I, we can roll, and Kathleen, we can keep rolling the snowballs. Anyway.
Awesome.
Great job.
Thank you all so much. We
Okay.
appreciate it.
Love it. Okay. Madam Clerk, sorry, I just needed to do that.
That's okay. We're back on item B1, Boy 1 on the redevelopment agency.
Okay. Take it away, Brian.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon. What time is it? Yeah, good afternoon, Madam Mayor. Agency Board, Brian McCardle, Revitalization
Not 7
Mayor.
o'clock.
It's not 7 o'clock. Yeah, that's for sure. We are bringing back before you one of the final steps in the agency rebrand, and that is to finalize the new agency name, the color palette, and some of the icon options, so that we can wrap up the rebrand process and launch the new agency brand. And so why rebranding the RDA is important. As the agency has been dormant for about 15 years, you notice the only mark that we have at the moment is that, I call it the Saved by the Bell logo up in the right-hand corner, or the Jazz Solo Cup, if everyone remembers the old Solo Cups. This logo is sold. We don't even have a digital copy. There's probably a floppy disk somewhere in a box that actually has the soft version of this logo. So I think that's a scanned copy. But as we come out of 15 years of dormancy, we want to make a big splash. We want people to know what the redevelopment agency is, what it's doing, and the role that it plays in the community. And so it was deemed that a rebrand would be an option to do that. And so with this rebrand, the agency will be modernized. It will be proactive. It'll go out into not only the local community, but also nationally to attract investors, developers, tell the story of what is happening in our region from an investment, placemaking, redevelopment perspective, and hopefully bring some dollars and some interest and some new place-based economic development into the region. And last, with the new brand, people will know what we do. We can educate people on the programs and opportunities, the tools that we have, drive engagement. And so with the new brand is a great opportunity to reintroduce ourselves to not only local community, but national players, and be proactive in telling them about who we are as a region. And so what the agency board is being asked to do today, when we brought this item forward in October, we settled on a logo icon identity, but it was asked by this body that we go back and the consultant review some other color palette options that mainly incorporate some City of Reno existing color options. But the items today before you is to formally adopt the new agency name. It would be a doing business as the Reno Redevelopment and Placemaking Agency, also known as REUP. And so it's just like RCVA and EDON have longer names, but they have shorter names. That's how we would operate in this scenario. So we'd be known as REUP, but doing business as the Reno Redevelopment and Placemaking Agency. We're also asking you today to select the final visual identity in the color palette, and then the option A or B of the icon styles. And so what is included in this rebrand, as I mentioned, it's a new name. It's adopting the color palette and those icons. What it won't do is the legal name of the agency will not change. It will still be on paper the Reno Redevelopment Agency, but it will be a DBA operating as a Reno Redevelopment and Placemaking Agency. So this doesn't change any statutory authority, doesn't change the plan at all. No change to the programs and policies. This is just essentially a rebrand in how we present ourselves to the world. So the DBA, I mentioned this a lot already. It allows us a great opportunity to reintroduce ourselves to the world, have a great approachable brand where it isn't deemed completely as the city, which is more institutional, it's more proactive, lets people know that we're willing to work with them and achieve whatever plans that they have within the redevelopment areas. These are the color palette options that residents put together after that October meeting. Option one was the original one we brought forward. This body asked to go back and incorporate some City of Reno blue colors, so those are options 2 and 3. We call option 1 Ponderosa Pine. I think Paul Klein, the agency advisory board chair, mentioned that in his comments this morning. Our consultant residence recommends that we not go with blue, mainly because it washes in with all the other existing logos throughout the region. We love our silver and blue. We love our Nevada colors. There are a lot of icons, logos, and organizations that use this color scheme already. The fear is that we would just be lost in the mix. When we want to be proactive, go out into the world, tell people what we're doing, we want a splashy logo, a splashy brand. This, with going with blue, would come across a bit more institutional than what would be preferred. It doesn't signal a lot of change. It's kind of a bit of the status quo. And so residents' recommendation was to go with the green color palette. The RAB saw this earlier this month. The RAB recommendation of this body was unanimous, was to continue with this green color palette option. Green means go. It highlights the sort of mountain town community that we're starting to believe we are. And with this new green color, it gives the idea that this is something new, vibrant, and exciting.
It's growing.
It's growing. We're growing. The icon styles. In your packet was the complete packet from residents that include a lot of examples of how these icons could be incorporated, from reports to street banners to swag. It was asked that we bring a couple options back. Option A was closer to the original proposal. Option B is a little bit more expanded block icon. The RAB did see this as well, and the RAB's recommendation was to go with option A. And so just to reiterate what the RAB's recommendation of this body, the RAB recommended this body adopt the Ponderosa Pine Green color palette.
Bless you.
And then go with option A on the icons. And so with that, I'll put the motion in front of you.
Okay.
And
All
I'm
right,
happy to
thank
answer any
you
questions.
so much.
Yeah.
All right, any,
Motion to approve.
go ahead. So Councilwoman Dewar made a motion, Councilman Reese second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Sorry, Councilwoman Anderson? Did you want to?
No.
No,
I
oh,
was the assistant city manager for the
Oh,
record.
sorry, your light's on.
Yeah, I
Just
apologize.
Go ahead.
Clarifying that the redevelopment board would like to move forward with option that the RAB recommended of Ponderosa Pine and option A for icons. Great, thank you so much. That's what we,
Yeah, you made staff recommendation.
yes, thank you.
Okay.
And I want to add that I think it's a good job. And thank you for taking the time to look at the options. The only thing I might have thought was where you're using the teal was to use one of the colors out of the palette, which is maybe the yellow, because the yellow is the biggest part of our current logo, not blue, not light blue, not silver, but the gold. But probably green and gold represents some team somewhere. That's some other city, some other university, and maybe that's why they didn't even think about it. I don't know.
I'll add that there is an expansive color palette that Resonance does have. It incorporates a lot of the City of Reno yellows and blues.
Okay.
As secondary color
And I
options.
saw it was a number of the icons too.
Yeah.
I just think they did a good job.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, we're good. Good job.
Awesome.
Okay. Now we need this one?
Two more. Yep.
Or we need two? Councilwoman Dewar?
I'm sorry?
B2. Okay, where?
Yep, we're on item B2, on the redevelopment agency board,
What do you need
acceptance
from
of the
us?
downtown action plan.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Thank you
I'm
again.
wondering, like,
I
you're
know,
waiting
it's-
for me, I'm waiting for you, what are we doing? Okay,
Two
go
more to
ahead,
do.
Brian.
Been waiting a month and a half
The
to
floor
do
is yours.
this.
Usually you stay up there and then we go into the next, but you sat down, so I'm like, what? Go ahead.
All right. Brian
He's
McCardle
getting
again.
all red.
Revitalization Manager. So what we'd like to do now is bring an update on the Downtown Action Plan. This is the organizing document that was done in 2016 that has directed a lot of the actions that we have taken over the last decade in our downtown area. Many of you were around in 2015-16 when this was approved. I sat on the steering committee for this as well in my role at EDON. But this was the plan to drive our downtown. When everyone says we need direction on where we are taking our downtown, and Puma was brought in from Denver. I remember Brad Siegel. Does everyone remember Brad Siegel?
Yeah.
He came in with his team, lots of engagement, lots of discussions, and this document had 52 implementation items when they left. And this document we've been using to identify what changes need to be done within the downtown area. And so why review this plan now? We just want to note that everyone hates to see a plan get done and no action be done against that plan. I'm happy to say that we're about 2/3 of the way done with everything recommended inside this plan, so it didn't sit on the shelf. There was actually a lot of activities achieved. This plan was essentially proposed to drive the next 5 to 7 years in downtown. It's been 9 years. If we take 2 years off for the pandemic, we're probably right where we should be. So it's been 9 years. A lot of agencies have played their role in achieving the goals of this plan, from the Downtown Reno Partnership, which didn't really exist before this plan was adopted. RTC, University of Nevada, the City of Reno, and now RDA has re-entered the space in the last year or so. And so we're all doing things that achieve the goals of this plan. I'll also note that a lot has changed since 2016. We didn't have a business improvement district. We had a police special assessment and a maintenance special assessment. And what the creation with the new business improvement district did is it sunset the police special assessment, sunset the maintenance special assessment, and created a new assessment for the downtown area, and that was the business improvement district. So we have that created now. That is managed by the DRP, the Downtown Reno Partnership. This plan recommended that housing could be one of the most transformative elements in achieving the future of downtown. And so I'm happy to say we've had over 1,000 new housing units delivered since then. No coincidence that City Council, this body, approved that 1,000 homes initiative, and we now have 1,000 homes. Many of those were applicants in that program. And we have another 1,000 in the pipeline. So we're achieving a lot of housing coming online. Some of it's affordable, some of it's for seniors, but I call it mixed income, multi-generational, mixed-use housing, which is what we wanted to see. River and public realm investments were mentioned a lot. We're now seeing a lot of improvements to Locomotion Plaza, to West Street Plaza, and we're about to start construction on future river improvements. And then, as you mentioned, with Rachel coming on the scene, we've done a lot in the activation and event space within the area. I think we're up 40% year over year. Rachel's program brought 72 new events to the downtown area. So a lot has changed since 2016 when we were wondering where we take this, our downtown. Some of the core values of the plan, there's 5 things. We want our downtown to be prosperous. That means we want jobs, we want workforce, we want our university to be a big component. We want it to be safe and clean. It means essentially we want it to be welcoming so that when people come down here, they don't feel that they're not welcome or that is in an unsafe environment. We want it to be connected, meaning bike lanes, transportation, people can get where they need to go, they can find the parking they need. We want it to be vibrant, meaning it's active, mixed use, retail, a lot of those things. And we want it to be livable. So if you made the decision to live downtown, as you have, do you have the amenities and the experiences to actually live as a true urbanite living in a downtown core? And so those are the 5 core values. And if you look at the plan, we don't have adopted districts. This map was incorporated into the City of Reno's master plan referencing these areas. But when they looked at our downtown, they essentially said we have 6 sort of quasi-districts. And one of those is the University District. Sometimes we call it the Gateway District. Now there's a proposed University Village. The downtown core of the entertainment area is called the Entertainment District. Something that didn't really percolate was this idea of an innovation district. It was a bit soup du jour at the time. A lot of cities were doing innovation districts. We have the Riverwalk, we have Pounding, which is a historic district, and then we have the Northwest Quadrant, a little bit of a bland name, but has since turned into sort of the neon line districts with Jacobs Entertainment. And so I just want to say that when we talk about our downtown holistically, this is the broader downtown area. It was discussed how we could possibly fund all the improvements that were included in this plan. The first one was to create a new bid assessment, and so that would be able to fund a lot of the recommendations. There's an opportunity that they identified to use future parking revenue to fund ideas. The city could use its capital improvement program to fund improvements. At the time, we didn't really have tax increment financing, but now we do, so that would be an RDA function using the property tax increment received to make investments in the area. Liquor and marijuana revenues were proposed. And then 2 things is using our redevelopment incentives to encourage more infill development, and then also looking at our fees and other financial assistance and maybe some code changes to facilitate infill development. So there are 52 implementation items. I'm going to try to fly through a lot of those quickly. But the whole entire plan is broken into 3 buckets. Mainly the first one is the economy, attracting investment, jobs, housing. The second one is the environment. And when I say the environment, I mean the physical environment, things people can feel, see, touch, and experience. That's the built environment. And so that relates to key streets, bike lanes, improvements to the river, improvements to the public realm. And then last one is experience. So when people choose to come down to the area, whether it's to visit or live, do they feel welcome, safe? Are they having a good time? And so first and foremost, it must be safe and clean. We need things for them to do, so it needs to be active and vibrant. And we need to have a way to get them through the area. So can they find their way? Can they find parking? Do they have a great experience? So everything in this plan correlates to those 3 big buckets. And so let me start on the first one, is the economy. So the first one was housing for everybody. In order to get housing, it says, do we have incentives and tools to drive more housing? And I will say now, we do. We have tax increment financing. We have incentives like the Restore Facade and Tenant Improvement Program. We've made changes to the fees by not allowing the sewer credits to expire. So those are all incentives to drive infill development. Do we have amenities for people to live downtown? One of the things recommended in the plan was that we needed a dog park downtown. And I would say that that was achieved, the biggest little dog park right on the north side of the Montage. And we have other amenities to public spaces like improvements to West Street Plaza and Locomotion Plaza. Attract neighborhood retail. I would say this is one of the hardest, although we are focused on it. It's mainly a demographic issue. We do not have enough people living in downtown to attract the grocery stores, the pharmacies, the dry cleaning. But with those new units coming online, we now have a path to sort of see how we're going to get there. And the last one, if people choose to live downtown, are we treating the river as an amenity for downtown residents? And I would say we are. We have, through ARPA funding, which was a great gift, added new lighting to the area, painted some accents, and then this fall, we're likely to start on the phase 1 of the river improvements, which is highlighted in the bottom right-hand corner. Jobs. Do we have incentives for new businesses? I would say small business, the Restore program is a great incentive for small business owners. If they're looking to move into a space, that program helps them with signage, TIs, a lot of the hurdles they have as a small business owner. On the bigger side, EDON has programs and incentives often that come down from the governor's office to attract companies into the area. Second one was workforce. Happy to announce that this region and the university was selected as a tech hub by the Economic Development Administration. And that provided, I think, $12 million of workforce funding to go into the lithium battery, and material science field. So we did have some opportunities for workforce expansion. Seeing the university invest in the innovation district, as I said, the university district wasn't something that really came to fruition, but we are seeing the university make investments into that gateway district. So now we have a new parking garage, we have a new business school, we're gonna get a new life science center. And then the university purchased those 19 homes across the freeway, which will be a new university village. So we're seeing a lot of progress there. Connections between sort of the University Gateway District and the river. We're going to see improvements to Evans Avenue with new bike lanes, and so that connectivity is going to be improved, so that is in progress. The last one I'll mention is establishing an innovation district. I don't know if that's something still worth pursuing. When this plan was originally adopted, the promise of Apple coming into the area, and I don't know if that really got what we were expecting with the Apple announcement. Last is on the economy is improving blighted and underutilized properties. So do we have tools and incentives, or what we would say carrot and sticks to achieve change down there? We do have a dedicated code enforcement officer in the downtown, so we are keeping track of properties and making sure that they're being maintained. But a lot of the things we've done in the RDA and with ARPA funding in the last few years is to drive improvement. And so the Restore program on the left-hand side, that is the Truckee Lane building where Cafe Capello and Marcolino's used to be. They plan to redo that entire building. And so they've received Restore grants for that project. And then on the right-hand side is the Prospector Apartments, which is at the site of the former Community Assistance Center. This body, City Council was able to do a purchase and sale agreement with them, and then the redevelopment agency supported the demolition of that site. And so it cleared the way for opportunity on that site. So that we are achieving the goal of improving blighted properties. The next one is identifying and rating historic properties. Since this plan was adopted, we've done historic structures report on both the Lear Theater building and the historic rail depot. But with Reno Historical, the app, and we now have a historic markers map that Arts and Culture has put together. And so we have identified all of our historic properties in the area. Demolishing for redevelopment, I mentioned the Prospectors Apartments. If you have the opportunity to demolish a building that could create potential for a bigger, better, more expansive project, that plan recommended that we seize that opportunity. And the last one that we haven't really done is creating a goal for underutilized properties or a scorecard. And I think that's something that we can consider in the new year, is going through building by building, site by site, and identifying its needs, the potential for redevelopment, or any challenges that are existing on that site. Moving on to the environment, connections in key streets. So this is, can people get through the area? Can people find parking? And so the first one was more bike racks. The Downtown Reno Partnership did receive a Main Street America grant that allowed, I think, 12 new bike racks for the area. 2 of those were artistic, so that's the one in the lower left-hand corner. I mentioned improvements to Evans Avenue with bike lanes. Those will be coming within the next year. Enhancing streetscapes, I'll give a shout out to the Downtown Reno Partnership. They received some ARPA funding to do the planters and new trash cans along the streetscapes, but we do have plans in the future to expand streetscapes and enhance them even further. 2 things that weren't achieved just yet is a pedestrian bridge from Evans to Museum. This is also recommended in the Truckee River Vision Plan, is to have Evans continue through that ballpark south site, straight to the river, and do a pedestrian bridge over to the Auto Museum. That is privately owned land, so we'll have to see if that landowner would be welcome to that idea. And last is a bike ramp on Arlington and I-80. I wasn't able to confirm if these improvements were done, that bike ramp. Going on to public spaces. So one of them says, improve your public spaces and give people things to do in those public spaces. And so one of those was activate the retract lids. The DRP had done some work along with the City of Reno's participation in doing the landscaping on the side of the retract lid. Mark Carney did the mural on there. But this past year with ARPA funding, Locomotion Plaza was completely transformed, and now it's being activated almost year-round. The plan recommended to launch a facade improvement program that has been achieved with Restore. It recommended adding wayfinding. Those will be installed either this fall or in the next spring, wayfinding along the river as part of an ARPA project. And then the last one that wasn't done is another pedestrian bridge connecting from the Lear over to Barbara Bennett Park. It's kind of a big span, but that was recommended in this plan. There are no current plans to make that pedestrian bridge happen. Next one was Truckee River. It recommended opening City Plaza to the river. As part of the Virginia Street Bridge, we graded out the section of the plaza, and now you can actually go down to the river from City Plaza, so that was achieved. Adding lighting and wayfinding, that has been achieved along the river. Adding more shade. Adding more shade is the number one thing we've seen in all of our plans. West Street Plaza did get shade, as did Locomotion Plaza. That's the picture in the middle. 2 things that haven't been done. It recommends that we do a bike rental facility in City Plaza. We haven't had a discussion about what the long-term vision for City Plaza is, so we could get to that point. We have discussed potential tube rentals at City Plaza, but that could be explored in the future. And then the last one was enhancing pedestrian safety at Virginia and Center Street, which is now University, which is more flashing beacons. There are no plans to do that at the moment, so that is pending. Safe and clean. A lot of this goes down to the Downtown Reno Partnership and their efforts. So the first one was launch a new downtown partnership. So we have that with the Downtown Reno Partnership, doing enhanced level of cleaning. They pressure wash. The ambassadors are downtown all the time, identifying the cleaning needs and safe and clean needs, addressing loitering, street vending, sharing information to people who need it. They are the eyes and ears and the feet on the street. The one we haven't done, which is being discussed, is assessing and increasing lighting levels in downtown. We have done a lot of lighting, but to actually go through and do an assessment of how dark are our street corners and if there's anything that we can do to improve safety via lighting, that is something we can pursue in the near future. All right, I'm almost done. Arts, culture, and entertainment, create a marketing campaign for downtown. The Downtown Reno Partnership has launched their Positively Downtown campaign, so that's been checked off. List and market special events. As I mentioned, we have 72 new special events. That has been achieved. Establish 1 to 2 new marquee events. We have achieved that with the Western Lights Festival that you just heard about. Consistent activation, that has been achieved. Expanding public art. In the budget next year for RDA, we plan to propose expanding a small walls program, which is more murals throughout the area. That was recommended in the public art master plan. And last one is history and culture tours. We do have tours that occur now and then, but there's no formal history or culture tour if you were to just be a tourist in Reno for a weekend. There's not a consistent tour group that operates either of those. So that could be something we consider in the future. Last is parking and transportation. Number one was expand bus service for students. RTC does have the RIDE program, so students at the university do get access to the rapid transit that goes along Virginia Street. Assess parking demand. We have done a parking study. We're also doing an operations assessment of the parking gallery on First and Sierra. Evaluate bus service. RTC is always evaluating bus service, so that is in progress. Campaign to encourage multimodal use is something that I don't think has been done. We've added a lot of bike lanes to our urban areas. I don't know if we are encouraging people to bike more. So that is something we could explore in the future. We do need more education on parking. We have 17,000 parking spaces. 15 of those are structured in downtown, but people do not know which ones are private, which ones are public, which ones are free. And so we could do some education around that. And then last is, and this is forward thinking, parking structures. In the future, if people aren't driving and parking cars anymore, what do we do with all the parking garages that were built that are hard to redesign? And so a lot of cities have adapted code that says that you have to future-proof your parking structures, meaning big flat floor pads so that you don't have these ramps. So that if in the future you were to take that parking garage and turn it into retail, office, housing, it would be easier to do. So that is something we could consider in the future. So I'll wrap it up here. Of the 52 items that were recommended in that plan, 19 have been achieved or completed. 17 with the gift of ARPA funding are in progress, and about 16 have, I wouldn't say pending, have yet to be addressed and could be reconsidered in the future. So that is the update of the downtown action plan. We're not proposing a new plan at the moment. We just wanted to give you a summary of what has been achieved.
Okay.
And so we do have a motion, which is
Okay.
to just receive and accept the update.
Okay, thank you so much, Brian. First of all, very good job. And maybe you touched on it. One of the biggest things, and I think it's such a big perception driver, Ashley knows this, and I really want to put it at the forefront, is what the perception and appearance is walking from City Hall to the row when they walk down that side of the street.
Yeah. And that was the goal of the Virginia Street placemaking plan.
Yeah.
Is to improve our public spaces.
Can you
give
bring me
people-
something back? I know you're a genius with
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know
you
if I'm
d-
the genius in
well,
AI.
Bless you. No, but I've seen you do some incredible things of like what the possibility could look like and what that looks like. But I keep hearing it over and over. And again, I wanted to talk to Rachel about this because, and Ashley, they really put in the antique mall. I kept saying, we could have a vintage market. I know we can. And they did that. And I don't know if you guys came to see the vintage market. It was amazing. Kathleen's house is all done in the vintage market stuff, I assume.
Or just old.
No, it's cool. It's cool. And so, but it goes to show you there is a lot that gets activation. But in the time that it's not is whenever I think people have this perception that it's looking stale. Now, I know things are happening with, the Old Harris project and all of that, but that perception is very real. And there's also a perception that is very unsafe from that to that. And so I want to make sure everything we possibly can because here's how I see it. You should have parklets and artists along the street and activating that every weekend and I'm talking about on the sidewalk, not in the street where you have to close it down and it's expensive, but there's a big perception there. Umbrellas, it should have flowers, it should make you feel safe and excited to be right in the downtown core, and you have the arch right there. So it says a lot about who we are. It's our front door, and it looks the way it does. And so I actually think it's probably one of the most significant ways to change the perception of when people have a better experience and they're walking through it and they feel good about what they see. And because I would say right now, I hear a lot about from there to there. And this is our front door. So I'm just on my rant, as you know.
It's all right. I think that was the Virginia Street placemaking study, was to capture that question. How do we improve Virginia Street from the river all the way to the university?
Yeah. I'll work on a presentation with you. I want you to bring back your AI rendition of a few blocks, and I'm going to bring my presentation. It's not about that, but it's about the shift in culture of why it's important, and I think we could team up and have a good presentation.
All right.
Okay.
We can always come back and give an update on the progress made on the Virginia Street placemaking study.
Love it.
and tell
Okay,
you where we're at.
Councilwoman Dewar.
Yeah. First of all, Brian, I just want to tell you, I've seen a lot of presentations, but this was very targeted, and I loved it, because it's very rare that we get to see, here was what we recommended, and here's what we did. We hardly ever get to see that, and that really goes to the whole concept of metrics, evaluating your performance. Unless you have this kind of thing, it's we're feeling better, we don't know, we failed in this one. So I just have to compliment you. This was very well done. I really appreciated it.
Wow.
What? Oh,
Good job.
yeah. The other thing is that in terms of simple, the mayor was just mentioning it, in terms of simple improvements, we had a lot more flowers out on the street this year. I know several things came together to make that happen. Do you recall, or what
I
went
will
into
say that the gift of ARPA funding was a unique opportunity to get a lot done.
Yeah.
Rachel led the initiative to, the University Sesquicentennial
Yeah.
was happening. And so if you notice, all new banners down Virginia Street were replaced. And when those came down, now the City of Reno flag banners are up. And they're
Yeah.
new and they're fresh, and they'll be probably up there for 2 years.
Yeah.
With the Downtown Reno Partnership, they did the planters.
Okay.
I think they did something like 90 planters. And doubled the amount of trash cans in the area.
Wow.
So you're starting to see small elements.
Yeah.
We say, there's a phrase, 99% invisible. The 99% of effort that goes into a space you'll never see.
Yeah.
And it's just how you feel about it.
That's
And so
true.
there's small nuanced things that have been done. There's probably
Well,
a
I
lot more
think
to do.
Ryan, our horticulturist at the city, was involved in these planters and grew a lot of flowers for is that right, Rachel? Is that? Oh, maybe Ashley knows.
Yep, Ashley Turney, Assistant City Manager for the record. The planters were managed by DRP, but to your point, our city horticulturalist, he grows the flowers that go in the hanging pots along
Yeah.
the Riverwalk. And then on the south side of the river where we converted the fountains that had been damaged into planter boxes,
Right.
they planted and grew all of those.
Yeah.
So yes, so the city's
Well,
involved on that side.
It's relatively, plants are relatively inexpensive as compared to hard structural elements that are made of concrete or whatever. And so I hope to see more of it. I really think it makes the city look like people are living here. It's kind of like driving by a house and seeing nothing very colorful, just sort of nice house, and then driving by another one and they've put some effort into it with the irrigation and the flowers, let's say. And it looks like a completely different thing. So I hope to see more of it this year. It's one of those, like, I think you called it, anyway, a quiet thing, but it's not very expensive, but it goes a long way. So until we can afford all the bigger things. And then we may also want to consider, when you and the mayor are doing your project, which I didn't totally follow, but I'm sure it'll be cool. That's what I'm saying, I'm sure it'll be cool. But maybe we can start replacing block by block some of the sidewalks, do the remake that you've proposed, but not for 20 million, for a lot less than that. So, thank you.
Any further comments? I see green light over here. Yeah.
Thank you for the presentation. There's a lot of information in it. We've made some progress. I really want to talk about the marketing campaign for downtown. In the metrics we say we've achieved or ongoing, and I think I'm going to push back a little bit on that because, as the mayor was saying, there is a perception that downtown is not safe, whether the data supports that or not. Obviously, I live downtown, and I brought my children downtown, and I would not be living in a place with them if I thought it was unsafe. It gets uncomfortable, but which is different than unsafe. My question is, how are we going to use this rebranding effort to put that marketing campaign to the next level and really target the local community? Because I hear people who live here who say, I'm not going downtown, it's not safe. I'm not going to ride my bike downtown or bring my family downtown. It's not safe. So I think there's things that we can do on other fronts of that, but I think a marketing campaign using the rebrand effort is really an opportunity, and I want to understand how that works. And then a while back, we had talked about some of the using the alleyways, and I didn't see that anywhere in the plan. And I think our alleyways are really unique, and we have so many of them that it could be fun to look at those. I'm not trying to put any more on your plate, but I'm just wondering where that might have gone.
Thank you for the question. So let me address the first one, the marketing campaign. We do have a downtown partnership who is the district of our broader area, and part of their effort is to do the more tactical beautification and tell the story from a district of small businesses, of events and activities. And so they are the ones who will tell who we are as downtown. The redevelopment agency is a bit broader than that because we have Brewery District, we have Riverwalk District, downtown, midtown, we have a much broader area. What the rebrand will help us do is tell the story of how the city's changing, improving, how, the investments being made, the opportunities for investment, for growth. It'll be a bit more bigger picture.
So Brian, are we relying on the Downtown Reno Partnership to do all of the marketing for downtown?
If you are talking about downtown, who downtown is sort of a district, then yes, that would be under the Downtown Reno Partnership.
Okay, I think I might want to understand a little bit more offline how we can improve that effort.
I can also add to that, Councilmember. We will be bringing forward the budget to you next week for the redevelopment agency. There is a line item in there for a PR campaign to help to advertise the redevelopment agency in a broader sense, and I assume that will be part of the conversation.
Okay.
That is a line item for the budget this next year.
Because I sort of envision the rebrand tools in all of the storefronts that we don't have stuff there now to help with a little bit until we can get the retail, until we can get to the other things. It looks like it's more welcoming and things are happening at least.
We also have a line item proposed in the budget for a retail attraction campaign for this next year. And so that will be something that this body will consider of what your different options are, but that would be one of the available options in that line item that we're bringing you next week.
Thank you.
Just a motion? Okay.
Make a motion. Please. I'll make a motion to receive and accept the Downtown Action Plan Implementation Progress Update.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All
I
right,
got
good
one more.
job.
Not gonna
Good
sit down.
job. I see. Yeah, one more right here. Perfect.
All right. Thank you again. So Brian McCarl, Revitalization Manager. So we're a little bit late on giving this report, but we wanted to summarize the activities of the redevelopment agency October through December of 2025. So we're a couple months late. A lot has happened since then, so some of this might seem dated, but we want to just memorialize what we achieved in that quarter. And so just summarize what our initiatives were for the past quarter. We're in the process of the redevelopment agency rebrand. We had brought the logo in front of this body in October, had some conversations around that, and residents went back and started working on that color palette. We announced the Restore Facade and Tenant Improvement Program awardees at the Neon Museum. And so we have announced all the awardees for that program. I think it was 28 new storefronts, 11 new businesses that received that. We've done a few tax increment financing projects in that time. There have been a lot of events and activation. I think we ended our summer series and then rolled into some wintertime events. And then you all have been involved in the capital improvement planning process. So we'll summarize that. And so where we are at the agency rebrand is a bit summarizing the previous item. But with the adoption of the color palette, we will have a formal launch of this new brand, and then the website will likely come in April or May of this year. And so we'll start planning announcement activities and outlining how we truly engage with people with this new rebrand. We announced the Restore Awards, so 34 applications. We awarded 23 projects. When you look at it building by building, that is 13 buildings that will see some sort of improvements. As I mentioned, this will be 28 storefronts that are currently blighted or currently empty or currently in need of serious improvements, 28 new storefronts and 11 new businesses. This is a new business that hasn't been in the area before. Most of these businesses are moving into the former Junkie building in Midtown, called the Midtown Junction now, I think is the short form of that project. But we also have a new bakery moving into the Morris, as well as a new music venue.
Did they all get
4th Street.
restore money at, and that's Batuan's place, right?
They didn't all get it. The building, we could say the building received the funds.
Not
But the
the
Selden.
business.
Right.
Selden?
The Selden is opening. The two that were most immediately opening, that were sort of the anchors, is the Selden, which is an expansion of Tyler's Emerson business, and then Drink Coffee Do Stuff on the corner, looking out towards the roundabout.
So they both got restore
No, Batuan, as the building owner, got the restore funds.
to help
improve
the
entire building.
businesses.
Correct.
Do the businesses know that?
They should, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they should. You know, we saw their building plans and their plans for the building, but as the owner developer is doing a lot of the improvements, he's the one who's receiving the
Yeah.
funds to do the
No.
electrical and the windows and the signage.
Yeah, I get it, but I've also seen where we've seen a similar situation where the retailer has an idea, and then you guys know, the retailer has an idea, and then the owner has a different idea. And one of them says, no, I really need this, and the other says, no, I really need this. And so I just always want to make sure that like that is cohesive, because the goal is not for the landlord, the goal is for the small business, right? To get them open, get their doors open. Because the landlords oftentimes, not all of them, I'm just saying, some have intent to sit on it or improve the building, and that actually helps them, you know, the property value, those kinds of things, and it doesn't help the small business. So just keep that in mind, that there's ways that I think you have to just pay attention to the landlord and retailer relationship.
Yep. Both small business owners and the building owner themselves both have the opportunity to be the applicant, and sometimes it does take some negotiation.
Yeah.
We do require them to sign an acknowledgement letter stating that they both know what each side is planning to do. So in your
Well, they
question,
do, but
yes.
then they don't.
Yes,
Well, they know, but maybe they don't agree.
acknowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the big success here is with the $1 million in Restore, we are able to incentivize $20 million in private improvements. So for every dollar of ours that goes in, we see $20 come out of the private market. So this is one of the most impactful programs we can do on a return on investment, as well as all the new business activity. So highly impactful program. And we hope to expand it in the new year. Just highlighting a couple projects. So the Truckee Lane building, as you see the rendering on the right-hand side, they're going to redo the storefronts, open up potential for 3 new tenants to go in, as well as redoing the entire building. So that is a project that we've been hoping, and a building we've been watching for quite a while.
If I don't ask you this, then I'll forget. This is really important.
Yep.
You're giving money to these landlords, and what I want to say is you're improving them, but the problem is, and I just think about this, because maybe you already have it as a qualifier. God, I got a really bad allergy and my eye just keeps watering, so I apologize. So I'm curious, because think about this. Part of that should also be that those rents are like market, whatever that is, so that you don't go in there and approve them and then all of a sudden they jack up the rents, right? Because you have approved them, they're in a better area, those kinds of things. So what I really think is, I think they're eating snacks over here. I'm jealous. No.
They roll them right through lunch. So,
Yeah, right. I know, and I kind of got in trouble for it, and I feel bad. But I hope everyone got up. Oh, see, she's got Red Hots. They're my favorite. I love it. Brandy, you just got caught passing sweets in class. And unless you give me some, unless someone gives you some. Here you go, Brandy. I love you. That's my only thing, is that here you go and you invest in them, and they don't invest in a small business, but it has to be an even playing field, I guess is what I'm saying. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, we want to remove blight first and foremost, and then we want to make these spaces available for tenants to move in.
Exactly.
We did ask.
But too hard when they jack up the rent.
We did
and
ask
I bet
what the
this is
rents
one of
were.
them that has, look at the rent before you give them money.
Yep.
If they're not playing with what the rental rates are going for right now, the standard rental rate, and everyone knows what that is, you can look up on LoopNet, I wouldn't give them a dime. Forget it. If they want to
Honestly, if they want to hoard their properties, sit on them, meanwhile have blight and have the city pay for them on the backs of the taxpayers, then that's a different story. So all I'm saying is come in with major criteria. If they've already shown that they've got these spaces for lease and they want $3 a square foot, when in that area they're going for $2, usually, and $3 wouldn't be as bad, but sometimes they're even way more than that. And that's why people get frustrated with downtown. Why are they vacant? Quite honestly, you have property hoarders. You have people that don't want to invest in their own property, but they want you as a city to do it. And that's wrong. Anyway, Brian, sorry, I'll get off my high horse.
With them, we offer them an opportunity to meet us halfway. That if these buildings continue to sit blighted and empty, it does no one any good. And so if we offer them an incentive or an opportunity, the least it could do is remove the blight and create some opportunity for.
But that's why something about a sitting fee, vacancy fee, registry. We were told we don't have enough staff for that. So I think I don't buy it. That's just me.
All right.
Okay.
Moving on to the next one.
Poor Brian. He's like, Hillary, I'm just delivering the message.
A lot of people say, dealing with downtowns, they call it civic therapy. Every downtown has these issues. And so you're really
so true.
You're really a civic therapist, so I take that.
It's so true. But you're doing great, Brian.
Thanks. So the next one, so this is one, it's been empty for a while, is the old Reno Brewing Building, Chronicle Capital. They've done a lot of restore projects. They are transforming 4th Street. They have more renderings of this, but they plan on making the old brewery building a multi-tenant space and redoing it, adding lighting, redoing the sidewalks, everything. So we're happy to support that project. Next one, Panghorn Accounting Building. This is one where it's always been sort of an odd building. It's actually a building shell built around an old house. Very interesting. But Michael's Jewelry is expanding. They purchased the site, and they're going to redo an entire refresh of the exterior of the building and then remodel the inside for a brand-new Michael's Jewelry. The next one is, I don't know if it's official, but Midtown Junction, the former Junkie building, it was a Coca-Cola bottling plant at one point, is getting 7 new tenants. But the building's been redone, all new electrical, HVAC, framing, signage, windows, and an exterior patio. So that should be open.
Ones, right?
Yep, that should be open in the next 2-3 months.
I can't wait. Is everything going okay?
I believe so.
Okay, because I hear he complains a lot about how bad the city is, so I want to make sure you call him and find out.
He's doing a lot as well.
And also you got restore money, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
So it shows that we are partnering. That's
Next one I'd like to highlight is the Nevadan right across the street here. So if you notice the Virginian has seen a lot of improvements. They redid the signage, they redid the awning, and they did that big mural from floor to ceiling. They plan on doing the same thing on the Nevadan side. So recreating the same sort of signage that the Virginian has, and then doing a wraparound mural, not just on the Nevada, but on both buildings. And with that, the bottom left, they do plan to remove that big brown awning that I've had on my list for a long time.
Which one? Wait, hold on. Which one?
The old Burger King awning that you can still see the Burger King name, even though they painted over. With ARPA funding, we did receive restore round 1. There are 3 projects left that are yet to finish their improvements. I want to highlight the Byington building, which is the Bodega Reno site down there. They do plan on renovating that entire building. We haven't given them any money yet. They plan on bringing the building back to the 1926 original building. They have done all the demolition. They are coming in for their permits to redo. It's going to get all new glass windows, all new awnings, and then after that, they do plan to move on to improving the rest of the building.
So wait, the chalkboard outside is going to go away?
That is temporary, yes.
And when is it going to go away?
I ask that question all the time. They do have a timeline. They do have a timeline with the grant to get their permits in and to complete the improvements. So
I mean, that is really an embarrassment.
Yeah.
It really is a joke.
Yeah.
And we've seen this for, I'm going to tell you, is it been a year and a year and a half now, Brian? Like, you guys, I got to tell you, poor Ashley's sitting there and she doesn't want to hear it. And she follows the code and all of that. But I have to tell you, it's so embarrassing. And you guys know, I called the Byingtons myself, and I've just been beside myself, and now here we are, because if you really go back to the history, and I wish I could pull up the council meeting, maybe I can find it. They came before us and told us, oh, it's gonna be a mini Whole Foods. And it's just been so painful, and on a very visible corner right in downtown Reno. And I think we've given them plenty of time. I didn't call him back, I let you guys go and do the work, to follow up, and I've just been hearing, honestly, excuse after excuse after excuse. I think it's been way too long, and if we're really, really caring about the perception of downtown and how we change it, you can't have chalkboard signage, or, hand-painted signage, and, then I see the other code violations we give to people that are so minor, but yet we have someone right in our face just saying it doesn't matter downtown. But this has been, I'd say one thing, if this was like, and you're hearing my frustration, if this was like, I could live with it for 3 months. Not a year, 2 years. I think it's almost 2 years. I think it could be 2 years, Brian, since I called them, and we were sitting in that office, all of us together, and it's just gone on. So what can we do to change that, Ashley? Is there some way?
Ashley Turney, Assistant City Manager for the record. So I think we have a couple of markers and milestones that are very important. So the first one is they have been given notice that they've only got a handful of months left before the restore money will expire.
Okay.
That's one of the benefits. So they know that they are up against
So you have a
that
time
clock.
frame?
We have a time frame that we've given.
That's good, yeah.
And as a reminder, we don't issue any money until the project is complete. So they've not received a penny of that money from us at this time. So that's an important distinction.
And they shouldn't.
Correct, and if they don't complete it, they won't. Generally, our practice has been when you have an open building permit, it shows an attempt at compliance, and so we don't continue to push forward with code enforcement because it shows that you're doing something.
Yeah.
When their current building permits expire, that's a different story because that shows that the building is no longer attempting compliance, and then the city takes on a different posture. So the last communication I believe that Brian had with them is they're awaiting some final information from the trustee. This building in particular is held in trust, and so you have to get a meeting of the minds before they can move forward. So we let them know that if you do not get the meeting of the minds, then you are at risk of losing your funds, and then we will proceed with code enforcement, as is our normal practice.
So have they had any code violations? They should.
With some of their so they had open permits for demolition. So when they have an open permit, we don't enforce and fine them.
Okay, can we change that? I would love to see that changed in the code, because they're not taking it seriously, because anyone can sit on that and wait and wait. How many times do we see people, hey, have an intent and they come in for these things and they sit there and they sit there and they sit there, and then it never happens? How many times do we see projects that never happen? And so they come in and they can start the ball, but that means it stops the code process. I think, that is incredibly broken.
We're happy to look at that. We try to give the benefit of the doubt because we do
I know, but we've been doing that. That's the problem. We're giving everyone the benefit of the doubt over and over and over again. And that's whenever I say, if we're frustrated about downtown, it's because we played a big part in dragging our feet and allowing people to continue on with these lax policies. Go look at the policies out of Las Vegas. It's very different. We need to mirror ours similar to them if we want action. This has been, honestly, I get so worked up over it because you guys know, I make calls to these property owners, nothing happens, and then that means on the city side, we got to do something. I mean, the Sundowner, that place, I want to see the code violations there. That place is so dangerous, it's a tear down. And what I would say is, you know what I want to do, you guys? I want to invite these property owners to the city council right here in front of us so we can ask them what their intent is. Otherwise, they skirt, go round and round and round, and then they avoid my phone calls, and I'm so tired of it. So let's really see. I'd love to invite them to a council meeting so we can all ask them questions. What's their intent? Because they're certainly making our city very problematic, bad perception, and you have to be part of the solution. I'm so over it. I can't see straight. As you guys know, you can hear my frustration, but this is. So now if they're not going to act, we as a city need to be proactive and stop allowing these passes, because they've had They've had so many.
Yes, we hear you loud and clear. and
You've
so
been
that
way
is our
too kind.
intention.
I'll tell you that. You've been way too kind. But that, I think this council should say that stops now. And I think we've been having that message. I know Councilwoman Taylor has been saying it because she lives downtown and she sees it every single day, day in and day out. So I'm sure it's even that much more frustrating for her. But we've been nice, we've been saying it. But I think today is where everyone should understand, whether it's our city manager, Jackie Bryant, to the right of me, J.W. Hodge, Ashley Turney, Norma Santorio. All of you need to understand this is our biggest priority right now, is to change that. And we keep hearing, oh, you can find, this or that. And then we get these interpretations from different attorneys, outside attorneys. I don't buy that either. I think it's all actually bullshit. And so I don't know how much more I feel like we sit here and we say it over and over again, but nothing changes. And so this is where I'm at now, is that I can't keep having presentations that are really just sort of, talking. It's not action. Okay?
Understood, Madam Mayor.
Yeah.
We will work to bring
Thank
something
you.
back for you.
Thank you. I guess, like I said, I feel like the council keeps putting in policies and we're not getting there. I think there's a lot of amazing work, but when it comes to the code side, and I want to give you guys A+ on all that work, but when it comes to the code side, we've let people just take advantage of us, and it's painful, And so I just got to tell you that I say this over and over again with code.
Yep, we're working on some changes, and so those will come before the body shortly.
Yeah, and Ashley, I apologize, but I feel like I'm just spinning my wheels and I don't know what to do anymore out of frustration.
We hear and share your frustration, so that is something that we are working and looking at some potential changes that have to happen at the state level, looking at what we can do locally, so
Yeah.
you should see some change. We've been working closely with the city
Thank
attorney's
you
office.
so
and
much.
They're trying to help
I know
find
you
different
have pushed and
options.
pushed and pushed, but I don't understand why we can't get there on that side of changing. We could take a vote and change the policy.
On some of them, yes, so that's what we're gonna bring forward to
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
That's,
All right, with that, I will turn it back over to Brian McCardle, so he
Thank you,
can
thank
finish
you.
out his presentation.
okay, thank you. Thanks, Brian.
I just want to mention the other two. So Yuzu Sushi.
This is why
I'm
I
not
love
done yet.
Brian. Brian's been there with me. I'm like, Brian, help me. I love you, Brian. You're
Yuzu
amazing.
Sushi.
And you guys are doing an incredible job. Thank you.
Yep, Yuzu Sushi is opening across from the Silver Legacy. Their sign is up. They got their certificate of occupancy. You will be very impressed with the space.
Did you make that happen, Ashley? Thank you so much. How long has that been? I love it. Finally. Yeah, she
This
did
is-
it.
This
She
is
did
the
it.
last
She worked
small
miracles.
business from round one to get their certificate of occupancy. So they should be open in the near future. Last one is El Cortez. It's not actually El Cortez building. It's the smaller building next to it where Tonic and the Mart is. They're going to do a reskin of the property, add more lighting to the building, add more lighting to the alleyway next door. So those are the last three projects that we're expecting to wrap up in the next few months that were part of the ARPA funding related to Restore. TIF projects. You were all at the groundbreaking of groundbreakings at the Grand Sierra Resort. I believe that was October 1st or 2nd. I don't know if we'll ever get a groundbreaking like that again. So that project is proceeding. We did have zero commercial rows TIF application be approved by this body for 205 townhomes along the river. That is moving forward. And then we did receive a new TIF application for a project on Lake Street, just north of the Reno Event Center, for 107 micro units of mixed income housing. So that one is in due diligence right now, so we expect to bring that one back in the next month or two. Projects that have already gone through the process, a project on 5th and Keystone, that one is on hold at the request of the developer. Red Retail is proceeding. They want to do that electric pickle and some retail expansion over at the Reno Experience District. We're in due diligence on that one. The last two are being held at the request of the developer. One is the expansion of Red to do more multifamily on the project. They asked us to hold. And then, as you have probably read, Jacobs Entertainment did have a TIF project for the Bonanza and for a new project next to Sazarin Arms. They're now demolishing the Bonanza Inn, so that project is now on hold. If they do demolish that project, essentially makes their TIF application void, and they'll have to reapply in the future if they would like to do future development. Events and activation, as I mentioned, Rachel's done a fantastic job bringing more events and activities. A lot of these were funded through ARPA. Closing out the season in October, we wrapped up the summer event series, which included Off the Rails concert series, the Flicks on the Bricks, which is sort of a movie night, Golden Hour on the Plaza, which is West Street Plaza. And then the new one the mayor mentioned is the Reno Antique Fair. Was a huge success. As it kept going, it kept expanding and growing more participants. And so that one was unexpected and a great success and will continue on in future years. What was unexpected was some wintertime activations. We saw the white tent go up on Locomotion Plaza. They held a honky tonk there with dancing lessons throughout the winter season. We did have a film premiere at the site, and there was a planned New Year's Eve celebration on Locomotion Plaza. The city hosted a lot of regular events that we've seen in the past. There was a Dia de los Muertos celebration on Locomotion. We did do the Veterans Day Parade downtown. The Holiday Lights Festival was expanded to 2 weeks, over a week, and there was a lot of participation from other organizations. And then the menorah lighting was held. So a lot of events took place in the fall. Capital improvement projects of note. This body allowed us to demolish the Community Assistance Center proactively. I will say this project went smoothly. We demolished the property. They got their building permits, and then we closed on the property and transacted the sale within 3 weeks, just before the end of the year. And within January 1, they're already breaking ground and planning to build. So we had a groundbreaking on that site last month. You'll see the Riverwalk Trail behind Auto Museum is in phase 1. We're going through design now with our capital improvement plan under RDA. We would hope to fund that project to be started in the fall. And then we're continuing with new bathrooms at the historic rail depot on the Amtrak side. But we could, with that improvement, we could further expand and create opportunities at the rail depot. Rents downtown on office, multifamily, and retail. Office, we haven't built a new office space in downtown in probably a decade. So we have no new square footage under construction. I'll notice retail. Our average rents for downtown are about $2.10. This does incorporate the new developments over by the new In-N-Out on Keystone, as well as the Downtown Crossing project on Virginia Street, where Teriyaki Madness. So those are all $4 a square foot. But if you look at the retail rents in downtown, it averages about $2.10. And we are seeing absorption. So our vacancy is declining, so that means businesses are moving into downtown. And we are seeing people scoop up some spots. So that's a good sign. And then multifamily, our rents downtown are less than the market average throughout the Reno-Sparks region. Our average rent in downtown is $1,710, which is less than the region at $1,753. We have low vacancy in downtown, even though we've had a lot of projects. Vacancy is really healthy, and we do have more units under construction at the moment. So other updates. I mentioned we're doing the parking gallery assessment now, so we do plan to make some improvements at the parking gallery on First and Sierra. New Riverwalk banners were installed. The new Reno flag banners went up on Long Virginia Street. Riverwalk is going to see some new banners as well, so they should be installed fairly soon. We continue to work with the Harrah's Revival project. They have some permits. They're lining up their financing. That project continues to move on. And then, as the mayor mentioned, the Reformer project at the former Riverside Theater is very exciting. It'll be 9 additional uses. They're already under demolition, and they're going to do a great project over there. Coming in 2026, some of these have already occurred, but Western Lights Festival was a huge success. We do plan on bringing proposals for a Small Walls mural program, as well as some additional retail attraction initiatives that we'll bring to the RAB in the next month or two. We're in the middle of the CIP planning process. You will see that as part of the budget. And then we do plan to continue and start the process of doing a 4th Street area plan, leaving off where the retract plan back in 2007 ended. So, sorry that took a while.
Okay, I think you did a great job. No, I took up the most time because I was like going crazy, but I love, love, love this. tell me just a little bit about Small Walls, because Ashley knows we've been to Wynwood Walls a few times, and it's such an impressive project. We wanted to integrate that. You want to tell me? Because I have a feeling that Ashley had a lot to do with putting that in place.
So we are, Ashley Turney, Assistant City Manager for the record. We're very excited. We're actually going to be debuting the framework of Small Walls at the RAB on Monday, and then hope with their approval to move out for application. This actually came from this body wearing your other hat as council approving the Public Art Master Plan for the Arts and Culture Group. They recommended something called Small Walls, and it's an opportunity for local artists to be able to scale up. What we find is we have some incredible muralists in our community, and we have programs for them to be able to do the utility boxes. And there's not really anything that's in between a utility box and a very large-scale mural project. So this is something that is created in order to help those artists scale their abilities and to get more art in more places. So the idea behind this is that this will be a grant match program, again, which is something that's been important to this body, that you've recommended that we put ourselves in a grant matching posture whenever we can for businesses to come forward and say, we're interested in having murals on our building on the outside. And then we help match them with local artists to be able to put murals in more places. We're looking at matches up to $10,000. There's $50,000 available in RDA 1 and $50,000 available in RDA 2. So we could be looking at multiple art pieces going up in our community, and those applications with the RAB's blessing, what Rachel and Megan Berner have put together, that will be out on the street in the next 2 weeks.
That's amazing.
We're very excited
Oh
about it.
my God, you should be so excited.
Yeah, we've got some great things coming in the RDA space.
I didn't
so
know
We're grateful
that-
you approved it as part of your budget this year. It's taken us a little while to get some things off the ground based off of the lean, small team that we have, but we are very excited to launch quite a few programs here in the next.
Everyone's going to love this.
It's going to be great. It's going to
Gonna
make
be
a big
great.
difference.
All right. I don't see any green. No green? No. Okay. No green. All right. Anything else, Brian, you want to put on there? It's like,
I'd say we have a lot going on, so.
you
And
do
we'll be
have
here-
a, you
we'll be
have a
here
lot
shortly
going
with the
on. And
next
just so
update.
you know, I want to make it very, very clear, because I don't want to dismiss the massive, massive, massive wins, because they're really happening. It's super exciting, right? I think we could help you with some policy up here to get to where you need to be and quicker and faster. So you just let us know how we can help you.
Thank you.
But I think you guys are doing great. Good job. I'm super excited about the walls. Very good. Rachel, you excited?
Super excited.
Yeah, I know. That's great. Okay. I don't think we have to take any action, just that we think it's amazing. And good job. It's a lot of work. He's like, yeah. Okay.
All right, Madam
Clerk.
Mayor, moving on to item C1, which is the Reno Redevelopment Agency Board update, which we had public comment from Mr. Klein earlier.
Yeah, I was going to
so I don't know
say,
that we have any
that's
additional
Mr.
comments?
Klein's,
Yes.
and I think he just laid it out.
He did. He
and
gave
did a
an
good
update
job.
during general public comment for the body, just to remind you of what the RAB had been working on. And so I think with that, you could move on to your next item.
Yeah, and they're going to see the CIP and some other things on Monday.
Correct.
So-
they're vetting everything before it comes to this body.
Oh, yeah, perfect. And you can always Zoom and jump in, you guys, if you want to join those. They're really informative. And I think the board asks great questions. They're doing a good job. Okay, Madam Clerk.
All right, item D1.
Oh, Councilwoman? No, you're good?
I put my light on for D1.
Oh, okay.
Item D1 is Redevelopment Agency Board comments.
All right. Anything? No?
Just a little blah, 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 sorry.
No, I love it.
wanted,
Go
I just
for it.
wanted to save my praise for Western Lights to now and to this part of the meeting. I won't repeat gratuitously everything that everybody else has complimented you on, but I will say that having humans in downtown is the most magical part of downtown, and then you also brought more magic. So anything that we can do to help you expand the number of locals that are downtown next year, I would like you to challenge us with some type of award, ward by ward engagement where we challenge our ward to come downtown, whether it's on one of those days. But you're going to need some time for us to plan that and conceptualize that. But next year, I would just love it if we could be competing up here with how many of our ward members were able to come downtown. So I'm looking forward to inspiration from you on that. So thank you for your work.
Challenge accepted.
That's a really, but you know what? Yeah. See, this is also where I get like really worked up about ward-only voting, right? But you know what? You just brought up something so smart, and I love it. You know what you can do? Go out there, invite your whole ward and say, hey, we're going to be in downtown Reno, Ward 6, come join me. And see if you can pull, I love that idea, Brandy. That's so smart. Great job. I love it. I love it. Battle of the wards. I love it. Good job. Okay. All right, Madam Clerk.
All right, item E is closing public comment for the Redevelopment Agency Board. We have none registered, so I'm just looking for a motion to adjourn the Redevelopment Agency Board.
Okay.
So moved.
I have a motion. I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, we're going back to our Reno City Council meeting. We've already taken care of item H1, so we're on closing public comment, item J1. I have none registered. And for the record, we did receive 2 comments. They have been distributed to the Reno City Council and are part of the permanent record. So we have no additional public comment for item J. So we're on motion, or item K, which is a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion. I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. You guys, it's 2 o'clock. Congratulations. I hope you get to go enjoy your day. Oh, that's right. That's right. What's that? I love it. Brandy's on top of it. But thanks, everyone. Thank you so much.